So, how's everybody doing? Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to be playing the Realm again, and we have sound. The Realm has actual sound. Here's the backstory. This game is one of the early MMOs, not technically the first, but one of the first mainstream beta tests, let's say, for the modern MMO world. It's just this basic thing, seeing if they could even do it, because everyone had dial-up, and not even the fast dial-up. See, what we think of as dial-up was the premium dial-up of the day. So initially, it was so difficult to even play a game like this because, number one, you'd have to be in a household that had a computer, which was much rarer back when this game came out compared to today. Everybody's got at least a phone, of course, now. That's the main one, but most people who have been around for a while have a computer. Like, eventually, a computer just kind of falls your way. I mean, look at how primitive this game is. You could make this game in MS Paint. A very young child in MS Paint could make something better than this. That's to show you how far we've come in not quite 30 years, but almost. We're getting there. So 3 decades ago, this was close to peak technology. Now, there were way better games. There were games that were much closer to what we have today in 1990. 4 through 6, I can't remember exactly. I want to say 96 was when the official date is, but there was some beta testing and stuff before that. So like 95, 94, maybe even. I honestly can't remember, and it's hard to find. That's the ancient era of the internet now. So it's hard to find any information from that time. I thought, oh yeah, it's still going to be around forever, and the original stuff will be the easiest to find because it'll be number one right at the beginning of everything. If in my mind at the time, that's how I conceptualize things, not knowing anything about how computers work. But still, it's amazing to see like, oh, some of that basic stuff, because there is a bunch of stuff from the early internet that's just sitting there because it's simple, it's easy, and you won't need to change it because it's a very basic idea. So it'll just sit around even though fancier, newer versions of it will exist. Right? It's just like if you want to do research, as we do with archaeology, you're going to go back to what the original programs were. How did we start this? How did we get to where we are today? So when, AI is brand new today. So when AI is just a normal thing and we're going for the next thing that scares us as much as AI, both scares, excites, and promises as much as AI, then we'll see how we deal with it then. But right now, we're sitting here playing the game from 30 years ago that you can make in MS Paint. And that's great. So I'm just going to get into the game, but I've got a lot to talk about. So all right, let's get caught up to speed. So if you were with me last time, I was ready to go. I was so excited about this. The Realm was brand new. The release of Mabon's Gamble, however you say it, I don't even know right now. When that came out, I was ready to go. And I came on stream, I talked my piece, I made a character, hit Interworld, and the game crashed. Now, this game is under a brand new company, and because it's an old game, because it has so few people that play it, it's not going to be like a major company with a lot of money that has control of this thing. However, the beauty of it is it's such a niche game at this point that only the diehard people even know it exists. So whoever's involved with it knows about the Realm because there are probably more lottery winners at this point than people that know about this game. Not even all the niche ones. I'll even say just all of the major regular lotteries in each state. You think each state, it's the same thing. It's managed by the exact same entity. But there are multiple instances. Like this game showed you. Instance zones, for example, didn't exist when this game came out. It was a new thing to be like, hey, there are too many people that want to play in this like tiny little zone with a super long spawn time. When we were making this game, we had all this stuff. We prepared the whole thing, but we made it for like a maximum of 20 people because nobody had the internet at this time. So now that there are hundreds or thousands of people playing this game all at once, all on our stupid ass fucking modems, barely able to make the game run, crashing because we went over to a screen with 10 people on it. That was too many connections at once or something. It was really crazy. It was the littlest shit. And man, your internet, you didn't even know if your internet was going to work. People take for granted the fact that their internet works so well. Like, oh, it's down sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. But even living with the shitty part of the internet connection, you still get a vast majority of the days. Back in the day, if you had good service, you were lucky if you got like 50-50. Think about 50% of the chance. Think of those times you absolutely just need to be on the internet because your day's been so stressful. You're so uncomfortable. Everything's terrible. You just need a way to relax. And the only thing that's going to work, because you need to rest your body and your mind at the same time but still be occupied, is the internet. And the internet's down. That was life in the 90s. So it's like, all right, people say, like, what's the difference? It really wasn't that different. Life from today and life in the 90s wasn't really that different if you think about it. But the real difference was the fact that the internet is reliable now. Even if you're in some like way remote area, you can get satellite internet. There are companies fighting over the chance to sell you satellite internet. Now, people don't want satellite internet, but yet there were so many people that needed it and couldn't get it back in the day. You know, we just take everything for granted. So this game, maybe. So, okay, you got 50% chance that your internet's going to work. Then you have to go to the game. You haven't even gotten to that level yet. So you got your internet covered, but we get to the point where the game says like, oh no, there's a giant update for 3 days. There's a giant, okay, the update's in, but now the server keeps crashing. Uh-oh, it's been hacked by somebody. It's just, games don't get hacked, like all fully. I mean, they do, but it's not in the same fashion. It's not like, oh, wow, just some random dude in his basement took this. It's usually like a big effort to get some major thing down, and whatever it'll be will just be a piece of that thing. It's not the whole game. I mean, how many games have you played where they're like, oh, there's been a major hack? You're like, oh, I didn't even realize everything worked fine. So anyway, that's my little diatribe right now. We got the realm. So I'm gonna try to enter this game, but it's stream night, and there's always problems. So let's see. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Last time I hold... Oh! Here we go. This is the music, too! I'm headbanging so hard right now to this. Oh, did you hear that beat drop? This is what we had. People like, oh, I need the songs with good breakdowns and beat drops, blah, 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 blah. This was our beat drop! Alright? This is all we had. It's really loud though, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this bit down. I was so excited. I was so excited to get the sound back, and they turned it off after about 20 seconds. Oh, it eventually ends, but it's just great. I'm so glad to have the sound back. So yeah, I never even got to the explanation. Yeah, alright, so it's an old game. It didn't have sound. They needed a whole new company to do that because the programming was so old. They can't even play sound. In 30 years, we could do that. Even the shittiest companies can do that, and it's not a question. At that time, they needed a whole thing to go. Oh, man. That's why I love this game. It's so funny. Oh. Alright, so the sad part was I didn't get that Baldric for the first week, which I really wanted to get. But because I was waiting to play it on stream. Literally waiting to play it for nobody. Because I just wanted to do that. And here we are. I gotta turn this music down because it's honestly annoying shit out of me. Alright, I gotta... Where's the thing? You can't see the other menus, I'm sure, but I'm trying to turn the sound. There's the MIDI music. Turn it at least the hell down. Because I want the battle stuff. In fact, I'm going to put this game is in such a tiny window, I'm just going to leave the sound thing up so I can turn it, up and down all I want. I've got sound effects and MIDI music. So when these bastards hit me, it's going to be so loud all of a sudden. I guarantee it. Oh, I can't leave it up. That's... Okay, well, it's an old game. I told you, shit's just not cool sometimes. Alright. We got it going. The sound's lower. It's still... My headphones have to come down. I don't know if I should even have the sound going, dude. I gotta turn this shit up. Okay. It's like, how'd stream go? I had a meltdown initially. Oh, that's great. Okay. Ready to play that game? Let's do it. Oh, there's the footsteps. So here's the deal. I'm literally pointing and clicking. Choosing what I want to do. This ain't no 3D bullshit. This is 2D. People are playing this game and there's already somebody in their underwear. See, that's the thing that's never changed about any games or anything involving gaming. There are always the people that just want to be naked around the middle part of town in their virtual characters, but would never do that in real life. They want to live vicariously through this game, and you think, I couldn't live without something that looks realistic. There were motherfuckers that got off on this shit. There were some, like, people jerking off to this game with the MS Paint panties, and they were serious about it. So that shows you really don't need as much as you think you do for anything in life. Because if there were people that could, like, hardcore creep out on this game, anything's possible. And here's the crazy part. Most of these people playing are probably the admins and the people that actually work on the game. You know, it's like the people that are hardcore involved, which is not many. This is not... Can you imagine with graphics and realism like this and a banging music track to go with it, that this wouldn't be more popular 30 years later? Alright, so I'm level 1. I should probably think like I'm level 1. I don't even know if I have a weapon equipped. Alright, so the whole thing is you do have to eat in this game. If you don't eat and drink, you will die. You will just start losing hit points, and you'll die. They decided that that was the level of realism they were going to draw the line at. I love this game so much. You know, it sounds like I'm talking shit, but here's the deal. That's how I love. I talk shit to love. And there are a lot of people that do that, but they're misunderstood because people think it's an attack and things like that. It's not an attack. It's me attacking this rat. It's love is what it is. Here we go. And you can't even see that I'm pressing attack. So the menu comes up that shows you what to do. You can pick attack, run, item. And if you are any sort of a fighter class, there's only 4 classes, by the way. And I'm an adventurer. I made a big deal about that because they said it was going to be different for whatever the fuck reasons. So if you're a fighter class, you could literally just click attack on the thing and you'll win. And that's perfect because if you're brand new to the game and you've never played games in your life, you need it to be as simple as possible. We take for granted that we know how to play complex games with no problem. Just any jackass. Back in the day, you had to have a significant amount of money or access to people that had like money and access to the stuff. It wasn't everywhere. This kind of thing was so rare at this point. Like not only playing a game was rare, but doing it with other people across the internet. Because there are people that didn't know the internet existed at this point in time. There were literally average people your own age or beyond that didn't know. It really doesn't matter at this point. Everybody knows now. But things change so slowly. And we think we can't be wrong, but there are people that didn't know this existed when it existed. They didn't know this was going on. It's a totally different world. But you know what? We're not that different. We have the same game with better graphics. Better music. All right, so yeah, there are multiple options. You can choose to run if you want. You can attack. You can use spells. You can use items. You can defend. You get experience. You level up. Every 10K, you level up. Now, one thing that's different is the original realm looked like this in terms of the hit points and the mana and the setup. It was very much... I mean, the AI, the UI that's on there is different. I believe there was a totally different UI initially. But because some of the stuff, even in this game, hadn't been not invented, but hadn't been popularized yet, it needed a massive update from years gone by. So you think about, this game was popular 1996 and 1997. That's not that long before 1999 when games like EverQuest came out. And you look at EverQuest, which I had been playing before this, and you look at this, there is a huge difference. Now, what's the difference between some game from 2008 and some game from this year? There's a difference for sure, but not that much if you really look at the game and like the graphics and things like that. It's just the super, super minute details have gotten way, way better. But there's a level of generic shit that looks modern that hasn't changed in a long time. And people who haven't been watching this the entire time don't see that. They just see, oh, look at this, and then you see the outliers of the past and think that was everything of the past. No, things were very advanced in 1997 already. If you look at human history for sure, but compared to today, mostly all of the stuff we're doing today was really finally being pushed into the mainstream at that time, and it had been going on decades before that. Things had to grow to become what they are today. And this game was just, when it was in its beta version, we barely knew if something like this would work. I remember that's how it was described to me by my parents, who were the first ones to play this game. So, and that was the thing back in the day. Your parents were probably the ones that saw the stuff, the advertisement. It wasn't all kid stuff. It was geared towards adults more than it was kids, because we thought, oh, kids aren't going to understand the complexity of this stuff. Because back in the day, it was not easy to own a computer. You think about your phone that just does everything automatically, and if there's a problem, you just wait for an update, and it's there in 2 hours, the next day, maybe the next week. No, it didn't have that. So it was an interesting environment. You know. So getting back to what I was saying earlier, there are some updates to this game that are going to push it more towards the original version of the game, but in some other ways, they're going to be adding a whole bunch of more modern features that push it in the other direction. So I'm really curious to see what they've done with all this. I really just want to play right now it's not fully out, so I just want to play to the point that the game actually comes out in an official manner. And oh, there's someone else getting in a fight. That was cool. It's nice to actually see people playing this game and out as a level 1. So yeah, they're going to be people that just chill in town because they're like GMs or they're longtime players, and this is what they do. They have the social aspect of the game as their main focus, which some people do. And then there are people like me that have the game aspect of the game as their main focus, which is why I waver in and out of every single game I play, because I play it for the basic functions, and when the basic functions get boring, I need to take a break. And the whole point is the basic functions are just there as some common thing everybody can do so they can socialize as the main event. Well, I want to play games. I grew up doing things by myself all the time. And by the way, there's an ad break coming up. I apologize if you get hit by that, but it's coming up for you. Here we go. I'm missing chat. My thing it's covering up chat, so that stupid notice that has been covering everything up. Are you playing Mabon's Gamble or Despot's Grove? I'm playing Mabon's Gamble. Despot's Grove is the original rule. Well, I should say not the original, but it's the previously standard version of the game that is so difficult to work on that they've basically just kind of left it as a relic. And I do have a character on there. That's what I was playing a month ago, actually, when I was waiting for this to come out. So the Mabon's Gamble is supposed to be what their modern realm is. It's everything they've been taking the old stuff and porting it over to everything new that they can. What the specifics are of that, I really don't know. I only know a very superficial version of that because I'm coming at this with the stance of somebody that was a little kid when this was going on, where this was one of my first introductions to any kind of online thing. You know, not online thing. I mean, I've been on the internet. I was lucky enough at that time to live in a home that had a computer and internet, which was rare, but not maybe not as rare as I'm making it out to be at the time, but it was still, like, by today's standards, extremely rare. I guess I'm focusing more on what it is compared to today's standards than what it was then. Because like I said, by the 90s, things were actually pretty modernized in a lot of ways. I mean, cell phones weren't like science fiction. People had cell phones for a while by the time this game had come out. They had just been very, I mean, like, you look at early movies from the early 90s, late 80s, there are like rich businessmen that pull out these cell phones and they describe them as bricks, and I think the early ones were, but a lot of them really weren't. They were just kind of like, oh, it's like a phone but a little bit thicker. That was very common in the 80s and 90s in these movies, because that was just like the way things were going at the time. And most people just had a house phone. But there were some people that had a cell phone because they needed to. And before cell phones, there were previous versions that certain people had. It was just, there were car phones. See, that was the big one, car phones. You were balling if you had a car phone. And it was so, like, I can't describe the feeling of like seeing one of those things in real life for the first time. Like, dude, a car phone, what? Like, you're with your school and you're at some place and they've got this like crazy car with a car phone, or like somehow, some way, there's somebody that knows somebody that's got this crazy car with a car phone. I mean, it was just like, it was mad. And then there was just a point where car phones were in junkyards and everybody, all your like stupid ass friends had a car. Like, look, this used to have a car phone. It still has it. Like, it would work if I actually hooked it up. Like, yeah, but cell phones are a thing. We don't give a shit about car phones. So there was a big change in those. So are you play? Yeah, what do you got? Wait, I missed the beginning. Are you on Grove or Gamble? I'm on Gamble. I'm on Maven's Gamble right now. That's the modern version of the game. Just trying to get a character up a level or two and talk about everything. So I just wanted to play. I missed the introduction where they were going to have this first week baldric that you could get that only the people that were there for the first week get. But the thing crashed, so I didn't get to do it. And I've been waiting to actually do this on stream. So I'm going on to Maven's Gamble. I'm trying to just get a couple of levels, talk about some stuff, and see where we go. So here we are. I'm back at there. I need to talk about more about the game instead of all this other stuff. So I've got other stories. I haven't even gotten to the freaking TikTok thing, so I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, so like I said, the purpose of this game is you're just doing the 2D grid. You get so many moves and actions per turn. You take advantage of that, and of course there are ways to buff that and change it over time, but it was very limited. This game did not have many options when it came to, oh, nice. The pixie got me. I love that. Pixies will heal you and buff you and stuff like that, and when you're a noob, that helps. So it's nice to have a buff that lasts for 30 seconds instead of 10, because these buffs are... I'm pulling those... people who played this game know I'm making fun of that. It's not really that short, but it feels like it. You'll get a buff and you'll take a turn and then it's gone. How's that? What's the point of that? Have one turn on your buff? Yeah, it's because you're a lower level character. But even a higher level character wouldn't cast some shit on you that would last very long. I mean, it was brutal, dude. The old days were brutal. People talk about rage quits. Nobody knows about rage quits that didn't play games before the year 2000. Now, I don't want to be one of those like people that's like, oh yeah, only people before this time period. Like, no, there's a reason I say that. And people that were there know. This shit was frustrating sometimes. We take things for granted. We really take things for granted for how smooth games work now. So yeah, I was getting to the whole thing. I'm just going to attack that. I'm not even going to look at it and see what level it is. Let's just see. I might get my ass kicked. You know what? Doing it. It's Maven's Gamble. I'm gambling. And I'm an adventurer, which I would normally be an actual class. And I know that's kind of a snub to adventurers, but really that was the point, is they were supposed to be the general if you didn't know what to do. There were 4. There was a magic caster, the wizard. There was a fighter. There was a thief. And then the adventurer. That's all you had. And I don't even remember if there were multiple races or not. I think it was only... I don't know, but that's the early beta, and maybe I'm wrong about that. Or maybe there were only 2. Maybe it's like human and elf or human and something. But at some point, they added a bunch. I feel like I remember Orc is definitely new. I can tell you that. Orc was... Was it? Orc was new. Dude, I don't even know now how much confidence I had when I said that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, rage quits because you just lost 2 weeks of progress, and not just getting screwed right now. Random number, not just getting screwed by the random number generator. Yeah, Seriously. The problems with these games were immense. And it wasn't so much that you just play a game that doesn't have problems. It's like, no, you play the ones that just have the least problems. Because there's a chance that your game is just it's not gonna be around. One day you're gonna try to log on and it's gone. I mean, I know that's technically possible today too, but most of your average games weren't as shitty as some of these were back then. So here we go. Fighting rattlings. I'm fighting. Oh, look at that. One turn. See, this is. I know this game. There's a part of me, even though it's been a long time since I've really played this game, there's a part of me that just has done this so many times that I don't even have to think about what I'm doing. And it's like, oh, what's so complicated about what you're doing? Besides the fact I can't. There we go. Get this bat. What's so complicated? Nothing. But there's a feel for how to do it. You just. I'll tell you what, no, someone that's never played this game before, come on and just go and randomly click things and see what happens. You'll be fine. I know, you'll be fine. But at certain points, you'll run into problems. And then tell me then that you don't adjust your shit. And eventually you come to some rhythm with it. Like we do with everything. That's life. We just form a habit and keep going. So, Mr. Sloan Fishby, real quick before I get back into the rest of it. If you are not following Sloan Fishby, go check out Sloan Fishby's channel. This guy is a guardian. So many hit points. Can you even see the hit points? Yeah, you can. 1,500 hit points. I don't know if these guys were even around in the original thing, but you can't fuck with them until you get higher level. Of course, then anything goes. But back in the day, you'd see guardians like that, and it'd be insane. See, that was the problem with games, and that hasn't really changed. Oh, this is going to get me, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I don't have any death penalty. Ha! I'm not going to lose items. So this game was brutal. You lost any random shit. It doesn't matter what it was. Look at that. I just took it down. Am I even a level 1 anymore? Might be a level 2 at this point. I haven't really been paying attention. So I got to look at myself. Let's go to this. I am... Oh, it's right here. I didn't even... Oops. I'm a level 1. Yeah, I haven't even leveled up yet. But... Oh, I haven't been paying attention to my experience. Look at that. I only have 2,500 experience. That's great. So they did change things. Maybe they made it a little bit... You know what? The level cap is 100. Or, well, it was at one point. I don't know if it still is. But when they released it, they said on the Discord that the level cap was 100. And I have not even read the announcements for the week, probably. So if things have updated and somebody's watching that knows better, like, this is... My information's out of date. I know. So let me know if I'm messing anything up. But it was 100, which... When I last played the game, the level cap was well over 1,000. And 1,000 was laughable from what I was used to. So the fact that this game has gone from well over, I think over 2,000, because I think I remember something about content that people level 2,000 something or up to whatever, man. I'm getting tired of trying to like figure out when shit happened, because you just hit a point in your life where you've done the same things at so many different points after long breaks that you don't remember where shit fits. Not to mention life is so crazy, it just makes you hate it enough to like not know where shit goes anyway. So there is that. But they must have fixed the experience, which I haven't even been paying attention to. I got 208 for that bat. I didn't look at the level. Maybe those things have been de-leveled a little bit. But last time I checked, they were much higher. So the point was, I guess, if the level cap is only 100, they probably don't want you to level so quickly that you're getting a level every few minutes like you used to be able to. That was the benefit of having 2,000 levels plus. That you could just get levels all the time. It's like the NBA. There's a shot every 5 seconds, so you don't have to worry. Oh, you get that dopamine hit. You eventually get immune to that. That's why I like games like football and baseball, because there's some rarity in scoring sometimes. Where basketball, there's always some shit going on. Even if there's a game that is a low-scoring game, like a low-scoring game is still 70-50 or whatever. That's, I don't even know. I don't watch basketball. Salome, you used to watch, or maybe you even still do. What's like a low-scoring game for basketball as far as professional, not whatever other bullshit goes on? Like, not that I'm saying professional's better than anything else, because professional definitely has this problem, but Sloan knows that shit. Is the NBA, yeah, like, so NBA game, what would be the lowest scoring game you would normally see? Like 79-88. Boom, there you go right there. Think of how many shots that makes up. How often you get a hit of dopamine for your team getting a stupid little basket. That's not hard to get. A stupid game. A team that loses with 79 points is ridiculed in the NBA. You think about how often you have to score to get 79 points? Compare that to baseball. Well, you'll get a 1-0 win regularly. Your team will be involved in so many 2-1s and 1-3s and shit that like it hurts your soul. But at the same time, there's so many baseball games that you need that to happen, because if every game was a million runs, everybody would be dead. Nobody would play baseball. You would die. You would literally die in baseball doing that. That might be a little overzealous, but Sloan knows what I'm talking about. So yeah. What the fuck was I even initially saying when I got onto this tangent? And here's the funny thing. So you can't see this stupid window, but the treasure, it's the treasure window, is rat guano. I'm going to pick rat shit up. Like, I just killed a rat, and it either shit itself or I pulled the shit out of the intestines, picked it up with my bare, ungloved hands, and put it in what? There's no backpack. I put it somewhere on my body or even in my body. Who wants that much rat shit to where it's valuable enough to pick up and sell to another human being that owns a business in a town that would have something akin to OSHA of the Middle Ages? Why the fuck am I holding rat guano? Where am I putting the sword while I'm holding the rat? Where's the rat guano right now while I'm swinging that sword and holding that shield? Dirty Old Socks, what's up? What are you doing? Bro, why aren't you doing EverQuest stuff? Isn't that the only thing you ever do? It feels like King's Quest. Yeah, I think someone else said that same thing to me. I don't know if I ever played King's Quest, but that's what this is. It's a 2D MMO that predates EverQuest. EverQuest was the game that killed this game. And what's funny about that is the last time I played this game, it crashed when I tried to log in, and EverQuest had to come in and kill this fucking game again. But that's where we are. So I'm trying to play EverQuest. I'm sorry, what is this game? I'm trying to play The Realm. But Dirty Old Socks, by the way, if anyone's watching, go follow Dirty Old Socks, because listen to that music. Isn't that beautiful? This is the shit. You got your fucking whatever songs you're playing on request and your audio that you're playing, Dirty Old Socks. This is what we were doing when we were children. In this 2D ass universe with that fucking music, we couldn't listen to anything we wanted to listen to on a computer. Are you kidding? Number one, did the internet even fucking work? Number two, were other people in our household using the internet at the time? Number three, if we got onto the game, did the fucking game even work? And then once you got on, was there even any shit? Was there a bug? Was there a problem and you couldn't even play? There were just so many factors we take for granted that it just gets me. Yeah, top tier music. It literally is top tier music, and I love it though. I absolutely love it, because this was, at the time, this was riveting shit. I don't know what you were playing when you were a kid, if it was King's Quest or whatever the hell, but this game shaped my fucking life. How sad is that? But also kind of amazing in the same way. So yeah, that's what I was getting. I was going on some tangent about some shit. Oh, hey, while you're here, you're the king of getting banned and shit, by the way. So your boy got the community guidelines violation on TikTok for a video about Robert Kiyosaki and why he's full of shit with like most of what he's doing, right? That shit got taken down in like hours. Not even, it had no chance to go. And nobody listens to my fucking TikToks, dude. I have no listeners, no viewers. So it hit somebody that got butthurt so fucking quickly that they took the video about like this guy who sells fear, and like, you know, he makes a little bit of sense on some certain things to draw you in, and then he brings on the crazy and sells his book. And I was just saying, hey, this is like what a lot of people are doing now. I'm not even talking about all the political shit that he's saying. I'm saying just this formula that this guy got really popular for. And even though, like, I'm not disputing some of his shit, I'm also saying, like, you got to scare people to sell your stuff. And that's not cool. And I pointed that out. But then I also pointed out that, like, all we have to do is keep our minds open and not worry about the bullshit in order to make it go away. So that's all I said in the video, and it got taken down. So, yeah, fear sells. Anyway, I got my ass banned, so I feel terrible now. Go check out Dirty Old Socks. Let me give him a shout out real quick at Dirty Old Motherfucking Socks. Give him some love. This guy right here, this guy fucking rules. So go check him out. I appreciate it. So anyway, now back to the game, because I'm playing this 1997 ass game, and 1997 is being generous. So the interesting thing is the difference between this and EverQuest is like 2 years, if you really think about it. That's a huge amount of difference in games compared to today, where 10 years can go by and there's still no fucking GTA 6 or whatever. It's been, I don't know, I didn't even play GTA 5, to be honest with you, but I played GTA 3, so like I'm done. That's all you needed. If you played GTA 3, that was the transition between stupid ass 2D games that were overhead that nobody even cared about. It was like, oh, you could do crazy shit in this. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go fucking do 1997 ass shit while you go and play your 2D ass fucking, what's it called? The fucking game I was just talking about. What is it? Oh, God, I can't remember. Anyway. Forgot my own shit. So I'm playing this game. GTA, yeah, I played 3 and it was cool, and now I don't need to play anymore. So it's been a long time, I understand, between 5 and 6. And now we got 6 coming out. Which, if you haven't seen the trailer, that shit is, like, cool but a little disappointing to what I was seeing a while ago. There was like some video going out about like, these are the graphics of GTA 6. And I was blown away by it. It was supposed to be gameplay graphics. And I was so blown away by those graphics that when the trailer came out with the supposedly better graphics than the actual gameplay will be, I was disappointed by the trailer. So that shows you that that game's got some good graphics, unless that video was some bullshit ass fake, which it could have been. I don't know. But Sloan Fisby, is that Red Dead Redemption 2 is the best GTA? So it's basically, I've never played that either. It's basically just GTA, but in the Wild Wild West or whatever. Fucking Will Smith. Like, I could just say the Wild West, but because that stupid ass had to put out a song that my millennial ass had to suck up at the time, I'm saying Wild Wild West on accident when I mean motherfucking Wild West. Oh, I'm running out of time. Shit, I gotta attack this. I can't. Sometimes I click on the attack and it just doesn't even give me the sword. You can't see it, but it turns my mouse into a sword to show that I'm attacking, which is obviously like the top notch of the time. 120, is it 424 or 124? 197? That's an old one. How behind? Oh, okay. I guess I just had. Why didn't it scroll down? That was weird. Man, I am not making... So they updated it. They made it a lot harder to go up a level. And that's, I guess, why I'm complaining. Because when I was playing Despot's Grove, the other server, the original one... original. It's like the millionth incarnation of an old-ass game. But now it's considered the original because the shit's so old. We don't have any versions of the betas, probably. I bet these people... Ooh, there's a group. Let's be dumb and fight it. Nope, it's not a group. I must have just clicked on the other wrap. Dang, dude, I wanted a group. So this game will fuck you up. I don't know, bro, Dirty, if you think EverQuest had some bad death penalties back in the day, which honestly I do. I think it probably had the worst out of any of them, just because of the time it would take to get your shit back. But like, this game, you could just lose any item, right? You know those items in EQ that took you forever to get, and it was super hard and super prestigious and shit? You could just lose that shit. And there's going to be some jackass standing next to you that suddenly goes like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and pick that up and run away, right? You didn't see their name, because you know how you get their names? You put your mouse cursor over them and look at the part of the screen where their name comes up. You're not just seeing names floating around on their head. It's absolutely insane, bro. So, yep, you keep trying to log into this and keep held on verifying name and password as is typical. All right, so this game, to get in, you're going to have to go to their website. You're going to have to sign up for an account with their website, which is a separate thing. Then you're going to have to create an account for the game. And the game is going to have to authenticate. You're going to have to go into your website account and connect your website account to your game account. And just the fact that you've created those will allow you to link it. So if you're confused on that part, which I got for a little bit, literally all you have to do is just have the email and the password and login that you set up from the website or the game portion. You just put that in there, you hit link, and actually you may even just be able to hit link and it'll do it automatically. I can't remember, but you link the two, and then you can play the game. So if you download it, The best way to do this is like sign up for an account online, download the shit, install the game. When it asks you to set it up, just set up the game part then, and then go back onto the internet, link it, and log back into the game. That's how you should be able to do it. If you're having trouble with it, I really don't know much about troubleshooting at this point because they have, last time I checked, 2 downloads, one for the original server and one for this new server. And the reason they have that is because the coding is so different that they have to put it on a separate thing. It's just such a different entity that they can't put it on the same program anymore, I guess. I don't know. That's all I'm seeing. So, I got in here a while ago, and I know if you're trying to get it to come play, that's cool. Come join if anybody wants to play the game. It's therealmserver.com now. I believe it used to be .net, which is why in my brain when I think of this game, I think of that. Because at the time, .net was just as viable, well, not just, but almost as viable as .com. There was a point in time where, even though there were different ending points for all these, I'm forgetting the name of that right now, shit was fucked up, and I don't remember what the hell I was saying, so I'm going to get back to this over here. I'm looting all this stuff, and then I'm fighting any rat I want. I'm not getting as many experience points as I thought I was going to get. That's the bad thing. They have really nerfed that, which, I mean, that's a good thing, actually. Because if the max level is 100, which sounds like a lot to EQ ass and beyond motherfuckers, but, do you think that's bad, dude? You should have seen it when levels were like 2,000. I was just talking about that not long ago. But you could be up to like level 2,000 in this game and you're still a bitch. That's what happens when a game is around for a long time. You get to a point where you've got so much, you've been playing for so long, and still you're not anything. Here's like EverQuest. I've never been max level in EverQuest. I am a diehard EverQuest fanatic to a point where like I would have sexual relations with EverQuest if it were a person. That's how much I love EverQuest. But I still have never been to the max level of EverQuest. I don't know if I've even been to the max level of the Realm, to be honest with you. These games were my life, and I got a buff. Fuck yeah. But I don't even know if this shit's hard. All right, and I don't want to spend the time I'm trying to relax working, because you know what these games eventually become? They become work. All of these games, even ones that are RPGs, become work after a while. Unless it's a short, good game, you're going to get to a point where you're just like, the grindy part of it kills me. And now with streaming and things like that, the grindy parts are great because it gives you something mindless you can do while you're discussing things, which is one thing I like about this whole deal. Like, I really have not been paying much attention to what I'm doing in the game because I'm mostly trying to just not fuck up what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is barely coherent at this point. I'm just lost in this whole thing, dude. I'm exhausted for a week. Crypto's been going up. And here's the thing. You think when you don't have gains, that having gains just feels like you're balling and throwing money around all the time. Like you're that dude in the commercial in the fucking jacuzzi with the chains on and stuff. Like, no. You know what happens when you have gains? You just die of stress worrying about losing them and should I sell and what should I do? Like when you don't have gains, you die of stress because you're still stuck in the situation you're in. But then when you have gains, you don't have enough, so you're worried about losing what you have more than taking anything. You know what usually happens? You take it way too soon, or you don't take it and the shit crashes on you and you rag on yourself. Oh, here's a group. This is what I'm looking for. I'm just going to attack some random shit and see what happens. But yeah, it's shitty to have gains, to be honest with you. I mean, I want gains to where I'm out that morning and then I can just chill for the rest of the weekend. That's one thing I like about options. As much as options have their risk and they're complicated initially to understand, even though they are actually technically simple, it's stressful, but it allows you to take a break for short times. So if you have a week with great gains, or a day, or whatever time period you're thinking of with amazing gains, you can just take some time off and like relax for a couple of days. Because number one, the market's closed. That's why people are like, oh, I want it all 24 hours. No, you don't want it 24 hours. You do not want it 24 hours. I know in certain ways it would be nice to just like, I'm worried about something. I'm going to get out on a Saturday. Yeah, I know. But you know what's going to happen when you do that? It's going to be a mistake 9 times out of 10. You're going to think some shit's happening that's not, or you're going to think something's worse than it is. You're going to get out and you're just going to mess yourself up. You want days where you can just put the market out of your head. Because as much as initially for the first couple of years you're like obsessed with it, like you very quickly realize that how much it destroys your psyche and how difficult it is to keep working on that all the time. You just loathe those times. You're stuck in a mindset that isn't healthy, and it takes you to a place that isn't healthy and you start hating the game, basically. Which is why I like the approach that I take, because I take an approach where you put it as your side thing. It's not something that's going to save your life. It's something you're just going to do to make a little extra cash and gain some knowledge, because that knowledge is very useful in so many other ways. Eventually there's going to be a time in your life where like some kind of financial issue, like a real financial issue, is going to fuck with you if it hasn't yet. Most people have already had that. By the time people are very young, there's usually something that's they've realized that makes the whole financial thing more real. So when you get to those points, having some knowledge that can allow you to get past it is very useful. And it's stuff that you can use as a hobby you enjoy doing. So something you enjoy doing might actually become something you need eventually. So I like the fact that you can just do it as a low stress side hustle. So, because here's the thing, it's like you watch all these videos and read these things that just say like, yeah, you just gotta do it. You gotta do all the fucking grinding and never sleep and all this stuff and hustle. And then you get on yourself like, yeah, you're right. I should be doing that. I really am. I'm not in all ways. I know, like, but it just hurts doing so much stuff, and I'm exhausted. But I know I should do more, and it makes you feel bad about yourself for not doing some. Like, just start your own fucking business. It's no big deal. Just start a business. It's not all you can't. Not everybody can start a business. All right. Like, I know that technically there's a way for people to start businesses and do those kinds of things. Technically, and it could be anybody that does those things. However, it is limited to a certain number of people, and if more people than that try to do it, it will no longer become viable. And everybody knows that. And people that take advantage of that be like, yeah, anybody could do it. No, if everybody did it, it wouldn't be doable anymore. And you know that. But you're pretending like you're a fucking jackass for not doing it. No, number one, it's very unlikely to succeed. And number two, not anybody can do it. But you still feel shitty about yourself. So that's why I said, one of the reasons I set this channel up is to tell you that, like, no, you don't have to fucking do that stuff. Believe me, if you beat yourself up about not doing it, it's going to do so much more damage than just like saying, all right, well, what is something I actually can do? What if I don't start a business? What if I just want to sit around and try to make money? What can I do? This shit. It's not going to be as successful as you think. You're not going to take yourself into the stratosphere, believe me, unless you're an idiot. If you're an idiot, then yeah, do it. You'll probably do really well, actually. But if you're not an idiot, I highly recommend just doing it as like a little fucking thing on the side. Just a little side trade, just a little learning here and there, not... and if you really want to go into it for a while, because of course when you first get into something, you're super excited, you got to learn. Yes, do all that. Learn, because you got to learn the basics. You got to be able to like talk to people that actually fucking do this every so often. So get that part done. Yes. But then which you can, which is not going to be very long into that learning career, believe me. It's not like there are crazy secrets that people that have been doing it for years know and other people don't. No, it's just basically like people are fine-tuning the same simple bullshit until they get their own best results, assuming they even last. Some people do this shit for decades and it never works. But some people do it and they learn relatively quickly. And the things that I saw when I first got into it were like, yeah, if you can't do it within 6 months to a year, maybe a year and a half at the absolute most, then just give up. No, fuck that shit. If you really want to do it, just don't put a lot of money into it so you don't fuck yourself, and keep it as a background thing that you do consistently, even if you go for months and you don't touch it. But every so often you come back to it. keep the knowledge base of that. Keep the financial lessons you're learning from that, but do it responsibly and use it as a side thing. If you even want to do it in the first place, which you don't have to. Nobody has to do anything. We all think like shit's pushing us into everything. No, fuck it. Don't ever do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. You won't like it. I promise you, you won't like it. It'll be absolute murder on you. However, if you're not a bitch and you can take it for a while and you're okay learning shit and taking these lessons to the core seriously. I think that's what gets people about this whole thing is that they cannot take being shook to the absolute fucking core and going on. Some people are so afraid of that they'll avoid anything that puts them in that situation. Well, trading will put you in that situation a lot. So be ready for that shit. And if you do it and you realize it's not that bad, then you can take a step back and be like, oh, I don't have to make it go to the point where it puts me in that situation. I could just take a tiny bit of money and kind of like do it. So what if you win $2.35 on a trade that could have made you millions? Seriously, so what about that? If you didn't do it, you wouldn't have learned that lesson. You wouldn't have made that progress, and you wouldn't have been able to have that $2.50 that can't get you shit now, but it makes your fucking asshole tingle or whatever. I don't know. I shouldn't be saying that shit because I got banned earlier for saying maybe I said terrible things that got me banned on the thing. But here comes the shit if you're not subbed. It was like the quickest thing. Here comes a fucking break. So yeah, if you're watching the break, yeah, it's I feel bad. I'm gonna get back to this game here, baby. We're fucking around today. People getting into it. Get that music. Music drops. Get these rats. You hear that? That's the low song. That's the creeping one. I still don't know what level I am. Probably one. No, I don't want to look at that thing. I just want to indiscriminately fight it because I'm winning every battle. Because I'm a noob and they've made it, so they've kept it, that aspect in tow. So that's something you had to learn. I think, we for a long time in games, it was like, don't overstress new players because even players that are really experienced with other games might still be confused by your game because there might be some little thing that just throws them completely for a loop. And that happens sometimes. We think of ourselves as dumb, but really sometimes it's just like one little thing that we weren't expecting just offsets every other thought we have enough to make it like incompatible with the phase of the thing we're doing. So we're completely backwards. Like in sound, you would cancel yourself out if you were the exact opposite of the waveform that you're seeing for the sound. So maybe it's the same way with how things work in the universe or whatever. Like you have this perfect plan that's working so well, and a stupid fucking pebble makes you like step off to the side a little bit, and that just tweaks or like maybe you fuck your foot up, and you can't. Did you have to stay home and you should have been out doing better things? Like it's unbelievable, dude. I don't even know why I'm getting that into it. I think it's a little way too far into the weeds. So Salome, hey, you getting on this? Are you actually? You don't have to, dude. I would recommend like not worrying too much about it if you can't get on. But the Discord for the Realm is up, and there's a bug fix on there. I really don't know if it's something simple that you can just obviously just search on it, but if you can't find something online, maybe go on the Discord and see if somebody will help. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know well enough to to guarantee that people won't say you're an asshole for not knowing basic shit. I don't know. Like I kind of doubt that because I think they're trying to change things. However, the talk that I hear says that perhaps that may be possible as well. So I don't know. But it's every game, right? It's how people work. People just think everybody knows everything that they do, and the fact that they're not thinking in the same way in the moment means that those people are defying your bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. We all think we know everything. We're so fucking full of our own bullshit. Bro. Look at this game. You're full of your shit. You think you're so awesome? Look at this game and realize this would have been your life. You think you're cooler than this? No, you're not cooler than this. You think you wouldn't have been fucking whatever and picture a time that's horrible, like you wouldn't have been the dudes doing the horrible shit? Yeah, well, You probably would have been. We all would have been. It's how life goes. I mean, we are our own person. Yes, we are unique, and that's the other thing. There are people like, oh, nobody's like truly unique. Blah, blah. No, there's some bullshit about it that's unique until it's completely proven otherwise, and not only proven but shown in practice. You can talk all the shit you want. People like whoever. What's that one guy that talks about how he doesn't think free will's real reality and all that? Sam Harris or whatever. Yeah, that guy. Bro, he don't know. He thinks he knows. He's one of those people that thinks he knows. Maybe he's right, but he really doesn't know that he's right. He's just like making money for saying what he says. He's like, I think this happens. And people go, well, you know what? I want to believe that, so I'm going to pay you to keep doing that. And then he goes like, am I right or am I doing this shit? No, you don't even think that far. You just keep going with it. I make money, so I say shit. How smart are you? I'm fucking Einstein, but I make money. I say shit. Einstein's no different than that jackass from Idiocracy that fucking makes the idiots appear over time from the boning. You know, that guy, I can't remember. I'm saying everybody's an idiot in the future because the stupid people are fucking a lot and having more kids, which is what the movie was saying. And that person's Einstein, I guess is my point. Einstein's a fucking piece of shit. Fuck Einstein. Einstein's a bitch. You know what? If Einstein were here, who do you think would win in a fight? Me or Einstein? Even at either of us in our primes, dude. Fuck yeah. Einstein's in his prime and I'm not. How about that? I'm still putting money on my bitch ass. Could I win in like the modern MMA against a low level dude? Fuck no. But I could beat up Einstein. I could fuck Einstein and Tesla up together. You know, like, and what's funny is I probably couldn't, but I could say that because like I see pictures of them and they look like bitches, but you never know. Just because somebody looks like a bitch doesn't mean they are a bitch. Like Tesla had a creepy ass face, but like you could fuck Tesla up. I don't care if he was 7'3". You could fuck him up easier if he was 7'3". Fuck 7'3". 7'3" ain't shit. Dude, don't say that shit right now with how everything's crazy. Did you not just hear my story about how I got community violence? No, not violence, violations. I violated terms of service, community guidelines because I posted some video and somebody got mad probably. Either that or the AI didn't like a word that I said. I went with the mainstream narrative technically. So it can't be those guys. I mean, it could be those guys. Maybe it's too good, and they were like, oh, no, this guy's on our shit. We can't let good shit by. People might actually do stuff. We can't have people doing stuff. That's modern reality. That's the motto of let's call them the Illuminati, right? Or whatever the Illuminati represents. That's what, things happen to. Oh, bro. California has legal weed. Just let you know. Not that anything happened with any of that, because who knows where this is being broadcast. In fact, we're a family-friendly show. We don't ever do anything like that. However, people who do also live in an area where it happens. Oh, this show evolved quickly. So yeah, my week was interesting. I haven't even talked about stocks and Bitcoin. So is anybody out there fucking with crypto? Tell me right now. Let me be less crass about that. Is anybody out there investing in cryptocurrency? Any specific one, Bitcoin or altcoin? If anybody is doing that, let me know what you're doing, what you have, like what your strategy is right now. Because my whole strategy is like, I'm not going to sell shit. Not because I think everything's going to the moon, but because I don't have enough. Like, I wish I bought more when it was down. And I knew better because I've been through multiple winters. But you know what happens in trading? You just don't. You don't ever do it to the extreme that you want to do it. Because you keep yourself from doing it to the extremes in order to continue the game. However, if you do that and you just keep buying even when you don't want to, eventually your bullshit ends up 2, 3, 10x in an environment like this that could continue to go. So yeah, I don't have as much as I wish I had, but I bit the bullet and I bought when people were shitting all over crypto. When crypto was absolutely dead in the water. It was in the mid-teens at the time. I was buying, technically, not as much as I wanted to at all. I was focusing more on the stupid stocks that still aren't that up that much. Well, I mean, after this month they are, but not as much as I had hoped when the whole market is literally near all-time highs. It's still nice to have something, though. So what, if anybody's holding anything, what's your shit? You know, like I've got Bitcoin, I've got Ethereum, I've got a ton of altcoins mostly in small amounts, but the heaviest, I gotta get this one. The heaviest amount I would say is definitely Bitcoin and Ethereum together, but I don't know between the two which one I have more in. I think I want to. It's probably Ethereum because Ethereum was cheaper, but I wish I was tilted more towards Bitcoin. Always, because Bitcoin has more value potential than Ethereum does it from a price standpoint. All right, before people flip out and start listen. I'm talking about the price, not the actual use case, utility, every other technical thing that fanboys want to just ejaculate all over my stream. Just the price, because the price is what makes you the money. You can be as right as you want about all your stupid fucking crypto shit, but if you don't have the money to actually do it, it's meaningless, and you're stupid for fucking getting mad about it. So get the fucking money from Bitcoin and then move it into the altcoin that you like. It's not rocket science. Buy the altcoin that you like, but also buy a little Bitcoin just in case Bitcoin goes up more. Just in case, Bitcoin's going up from 15,000 to 44,000. What is it right now? The screen doesn't even have, what does it have? 45,000. Bitcoin's at 45,000 right now. If you see this, I'm going to zoom in on this. Look at this, right? People were talking shit about Bitcoin at 15K and it's at 45K right now. Is it going to stay here? No, it's not going to stay here. Where's it going to go? I don't know. Up or down? It's going to move like crazy. It's Bitcoin. It might sit here for a while. I don't know, but the way it's been moving and the way markets go and the fact that we're at the end of the year and it's at highs for quite a while is telling me that people are into Bitcoin right now and the shit's not done. I mean, there could be some catalyst in 5 seconds that completely cuts it. But without that catalyst, Bitcoin is going to keep going. Crypto is going to keep going. The fact that the market's going higher or just chilling tells you that it has even more support. The fact that interest rates are talking about being cut for the first time by actual legitimate assholes tells you that maybe there's a chance we could fucking pop in everything. And if we do, crypto is done. What's the other reason? Institutions that are filing for Bitcoin ETFs are shitting all over crypto. Do you not understand how important that is? When those institutions are shitting on crypto while simultaneously trying to get at the center of crypto, it tells you something important. They're not going to fucking just pull the rug out without getting their share. And the reason they're talking shit is because they're not positioned fully yet. And are they going to be when whatever thing comes out, like the specific ETF? No. They're going to be way better positioned than they are right now, but they're still going to play games with the market to get where they want to get. And they're not all going to play together. Some of them are going to be fighting each other. Once it gets into the big fish pond, everybody that's in the crypto space is going to lose control of what happens to crypto. The reality of the world is going to be poured into crypto at that point. It is being artificially held back from people that could change the space in a positive or negative way. I'm not saying that's going to go in either direction. Whatever you think, it could go the other direction for sure. We don't know what's going to happen. Crypto is absolutely a powder keg right now, and I'm not going to miss out on that. But am I going to put all my money into crypto? No, because it literally could be at zero tomorrow. Way easier than any kind of stock or even derivative could. Derivatives go to zero all the time, and they have a better chance of longevity than crypto does, which is why I don't want to put all of my money in it, which is why I still didn't have enough. Even after all these years and all the shit that I talked on this stream in that time, I still don't have enough crypto. So it tells you, like, nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. You're reading all those articles from all those institutions you think know what they're talking about in finance. Nah, they're full of shit too. You don't know if that article was written by like a serious, legitimate, like passionate person about it, or a guy that did coke all night. It's very easily either one of those things in any article that you read, or any analyst rating, or any boardroom meeting at any of these giant firms. You think Goldman Sachs isn't like both a combination of extremely dedicated, crazy people and fucking actually insane party animals that just got together and all fucking like the same orgies? It's probably the fact that this whole thing works if the people with the same interest get on the same path. So crypto has some shit, but is it going to happen right away? I really don't know. I'm worried. That's what I've been saying. Like you're talking about cash it out. I see that comment that says you're cash it out. I think about that every day. You know, if I'm going to be so pissed if this thing crashes and all these gains go away, because I've been waiting for a very long time for these gains. I've been like taking shit from people that just completely don't believe in this, and getting to a point where like I'm doubting myself, right? So now going from that level of like, well, I fucked up because I sunk enough into this to really like fuck me if I didn't, you know, if it didn't turn around. And now to a point where like, okay, you got something, so you're going to be pissed if you lose this, but it's definitely nowhere near what you expect. So what do? I don't know, Dennis Hopper. What the fuck do I do? You're the one with the gun and the missing hand. Tell me. I'm just going to pick up this rat shit and get back to town, sell it. Oh, this is rat meat. It looks the same. Probably tastes the same. But that's what we're doing here. We're eating shit. We're fucking rats. I mean, we're killing rats. I mean, some people are fucking rats. Let's be honest, all right? Let's be 100% honest. There's some people that are probably doing sexual things to rats. And I'm not just saying, like, there's the guy with the steak video, so anything's possible. No, I'm saying, like, there's a lot of testing that goes on in rats. And if people always make the comment about morgues, like, oh, I bet people at work here that like to fuck the dead bodies. Don't you think the same thing's going on in those rat laboratories, bro? That's a horrible thought, but like there are way more testing laboratories than there are funeral like embalming places. So yeah, I mean, it's just you can't tell me one of those doesn't have some rat fucking going on. And it's horrible. I feel bad for the rats. I feel bad for the people too. Not just the people that, like, I feel bad for somebody that has to, like, be a person that wants to fuck rats. You know, like, we feel like, oh, bad for the rat. It's like, yeah, I definitely feel bad for the rat. I mean, maybe, like, with some people, I don't feel so bad for the rat because, like, you know, people are differently, like, people. But the rat, but, like, I feel bad for the person that has to actually like the rats. Oh, God. So, anyway... I was speaking about getting banned today. All right, I missed some stuff. I agree with you, but I'm not in a position where I can leave profits on the table. See? Here's the other side of that coin. Like, that's the position of so many people. You know, and that's why I have such a small amount that even if I was in that situation, I would find a way to keep, like, the tiniest amount in there at the, like, is if you take like taking gains on it, I would probably take partial gains and just let the rest go. And even if they went down, the fact that you take gains is good. And here's what the reason I say that. I did that during the last bull run. That worked technically very well for me. But the problem was it was with Bitcoin. And even though 10, 20x gains are absolutely amazing. If you were to get some 10x stock gains, like fuck 20x. I mean, 20x, you're not going to get 20x in stock ever. It happens sometimes. But it's not going to happen to you. It's never going to fucking happen in stocks. But if you got 10% in stocks, you'd be absolutely off the wall. So I'm sorry, not 10%, 10x. If you got 10x in stocks, your life would be a completely different life. Absolutely. But crypto, little did I know that 20x could have been 1,000x very soon after that. I wouldn't have done it. But here's the thing. I had some going up. I actually didn't take it all off the table. So yeah, but I took a lot off way too early. I was mostly out of that thing by the time it was in the 20s. I mean, there are people that didn't even think about it until post 20, but like for me, hitting the 20s was absolutely like it was pushing 30, and I was like, this is ridiculous, dude. I didn't know it was even going to get to the old high, much less surpass it and start getting to new levels. I had to get rid of it, dude. I got rid of the Doge. Doge was my absolute best trade ever. Like Doge, I could have actually been on an island right now if I had played Doge correctly. But I let go of Doge by a penny. A penny. Doge was in the 70s, 70 cents. 70-something cents before it peaked and turned around. I don't know if it went any higher than that at any specific tiny little interval at 4 a.m. and some whatever. I don't know. But for the most part, when I was viewing it, the highest I ever saw it go was the 70s. Like if you put something in, if you put a sell order at like 60 anything, 69, 68, because you wanted to be cool, there were a bunch of people put in like 69, 420 and shit like that. You could have done that and been great with Dogecoin. Dogecoin was an absolute meme. It was bullshit. And that's probably why it got to that point. It probably hit that point because there were people that were actually trying to trade it and make money off of it that had money and the insider ability. Excuse me. That just like killed it once it passed 69, which I wouldn't be surprised. So you've got Splinter. She's talking about Splinterlands. What if the rat sounds like Splinter? Oh, the one from Ninja Turtles, bro. I think that's gonna actually probably make it more likely for certain people to be, if you're really asking that, like, you know, a rat that's like a soothing voice that can teach you everything. And like, dude, you know, you have any idea how many rats would be fucked if like people if they would like split? Although they could defend themselves better than rats, so maybe it would be less. Or the people that like fucking challenge. I don't know. We shouldn't be talking about this on a day when I already lost a video to some bullshit because, you know, rats are people too. So let's get back to this. I'm still level 1 most likely. I've absolutely gotten myself banned and canceled, and I'm ready to deal with that. So the rest of the show is going to be much better, much cooler. Oh, there's people here. Nice. So when you get to level, you know what it was before? You get to level 3, you get a baldric, a blue baldric. So this dude could be, no, it's gone. Whatever. That's about all you're going to get in this game. There's somebody. Oh, they're gone. They're probably here because they are relatively new. And if you're going to be, oh, that's the thing. Not all the zones are active, apparently. So I think it's a smaller area to play a boring-ass game. We're going to do this with less than we had before. Okay. Tell GTA 6 how that is going to work for you. Ooh, I got a strength buff. So, hey, Salome, have you seen the GTA 6 thing, and are you going to be playing it? If you know any, like, I don't have a way to play it, but maybe I know some people that would get it, probably, but I don't know. I don't really care enough, to be honest. GTA, like I said, GTA 3 was really all you needed. If you played GTA 3, you played the modern one. It's just the modern one's prettier and lets you do different stuff. Like GTA 3 was the core. It was literally just go out, do the crimes, beat the game, and do crazy stuff that, you know, that like the video games wouldn't normally let you do because of standards and practices. What are standards and practices? That's what standards and practices are. Standards and practices get your video taken down because people don't like the fact that you criticize a dude that sells fear to make money off of you. And okay, so I said that the dude puts out the book because he's trying to sell, he's trying to make poor people dumb. You know, like that's what I was saying with it, which is not wrong, but at the same time, like, he has some points too. He's not completely full of shit. He's not like one of these jackass, like David Icke. You know, the guy that's talking about the reptile shit and he used to be a soccer player and all. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're gonna believe reptile guy that used to play soccer in the 90s? You have any idea how terrible of a person you have to be to play soccer in the 90s? Don't listen, like, for UK in some way. Just don't even think about it. I have no idea what I'm... So if anybody's in the UK and I just either said something funny or offensive, let me know because I'm just making that up. 100% making that up. David Icke's full of shit. I can tell you that much. I'm a conspiracy guy, and I love him. As much as I won't admit to the level of conspiracy I let myself get into, like, I love them all. And I hate David Icke. Like, I hate David Icke. He's the dude that I wonder, like, is there, like, a government plant that's trying to destabilize misinformation and shit? Like, yeah, that's exactly what David Icke would be if he's got to be paid by some, or not even the government, just like any organization that wants that misinformation put out there. Like a guy that played soccer in the 90s would definitely do that. So why is that? Okay, anybody that knows, why is that the case? I'm literally just making that up, but why is that the case? It's got to be the case because it came onto the show somehow. Rat fucker terrible. Hopefully okay. All right, Sloan. Sloan's got to win the like who can push it too far war all the time. I get you. You win. You did it. But I got to get this marble because this marble. Get the marble. All right. So that's the other thing I have to figure out is how to get the other menus on the stream because right now all you can see is the main window. You're seeing the fights go on. And actually, you know what's funny? You're seeing it closer than I am because I'm looking at it from this tiny ass window with my aging eyes that can't see details as well. Like it's if anybody plays this game, you are losing your sight. There's no way around it. Even people with good sight are starting to have problems. And like you could have been the youngest ass kid playing this game and you're still having trouble seeing this shit at this point. Even if you're like a young spry bitch like me that just got it as a kid. No. But I gotta get this menu so you can see how cool it is to pick attack over and over again. You hear that? You hear that? Like I wonder about these MIDI bullshits. Like, did somebody actually record that, or is that just a keyboard that fucking made that noise? Somehow somebody would just press the right combination of things. Like, that sounds like a person. Post Stephen Hawking voice box that became his signature thing. Bro, isn't it crazy that we live in a world without Stephen Hawking? That's one thing that gets me. Of all the people that died, like Stephen Hawking was, regardless of what you think about it, was just like there's not another Stephen Hawking just hanging around right now. And I'm not saying that he's like the best or the worst, or that there won't ever be anyone like him. Like there will be, and there's probably somebody that's somewhat in the ballpark of that. But like, as far as a public figure, as a popularized thing, no, we're not going to see that shit for a while. Especially with AI, we'll probably see Stephen Hawking was kind of the first AI if you think about it. Like the dude literally was a brain in a computer. You can't get a closer pre-modern technological version of that. Stephen Hawking and those in his same situation were the first AI. But now AI is coming on. But AI is still dumb. Like, it's not... Where is the bat? So that's the other... Look, they put trees right in the area where you have to click. So you can't see that. But I was trying to click on that stupid bat behind the tree. Why can't you put the tree in the background? You know what? They probably tried to, but the coding was so terrible that it just wouldn't work, and they gave up on it because you could still technically get out, or you could still technically attack it if you get just the right spot with the sword icon. The other problem is I have my mouse way enlarged because I want to be able to point things out on stream. It doesn't look quite as... Actually, it doesn't look... Oh, man. Okay, so on stream, the mouse doesn't look quite that bad. It might be a little big. I don't know, but it looks a lot more normal. Because right now, the mouse that I have is completely covering that exit sign, and the one on stream is in the middle of it. So you're not seeing the same mouse that I'm seeing. This is the other part that makes it difficult, is trying to click that... I'm fat-fingering a freaking MS Paint drawing. It's difficult to... it's like that Simpsons where he's like fat fingering all the keys, and then you can't dial help when he needs help. Those shows, man, even that's illegal now. Oh, there was a person. That person had a baldric. They were cool, dude. I wanted that special baldric so bad. I really wish I had been able to make that game work, and then I didn't want to play it during the week because I wanted to wait for stream. And oh man, I could have had that. Could have had that baldric. I'm going to try desert rattling. Let's see. I think this is the first time I've done that. I don't even know if I've leveled up yet. Let's see if I get this thing. This is riveting, like, exciting shit. Will. Oh, yeah, of course I do. 172? Gosh, 100. I got a ring, though. So that's the good thing. You get rings, and you can identify them, and maybe they'll be a ridiculously valuable thing. That was the cool thing about this game. You could actually find an item that would just... You could win the lottery, and win a smaller lottery in this game. Which, games like EverQuest, they kind of took your ability to do that away. They didn't want people to be able to advance so quickly with things that it ruined their ability to milk them for subscriber money. This was the experiment to how to just fucking cuck you, dude. This was how it happened right here. The realm was the gateway to the modern way of doing that. They give you just enough to keep you going, but man, like a little more. It wouldn't take much, and it'd just be amazing. And but you play those games where it's too easy and then you hate it. You don't want it, just gets boring so quickly. There's a balance, and that balance is close, but no game ever really gets it perfect. So they were learning how to do that shit with this, which is why there were so many problems with it, because it was like, all right, well, let's do this. Well, I guess people don't like our game anymore. All right, well, how do we get them back? I don't know. We've never had games before. What do we do about that? Now let's just give them dual rat guanos, because you're going to stuff more shit in your armor. Or, no, maybe not even... It's like leatherish stuff or cloth. I think you start out with cloth. Maybe even as a warrior, or I don't know. Check it out. Who would have thought that the health nut would kick off early? Yeah. Stephen Hawking, dude, that guy was... He really, all his kale shit, and it didn't even save him. His fucking CrossFit. Like, CrossFit... See, that's why I think CrossFit is bullshit, because Stephen Hawking didn't even get better. So, fuck CrossFit. I don't know. Maybe CrossFit's fine. There are people that do it. It's just, the problem with CrossFit is like, yeah, I know the videos you see are the ridiculous side of CrossFit, but at the same time, like, they're pretty ridiculous videos. You gotta get, like, it is... So, okay, here's the thing about somebody that's been doing weight training, like physical exercise for a long period of time. Maybe not consistently, but been doing it for a long time. What you eventually do in the reality of the real world and not in fantasy steroid bullshit land is you weigh the consequences between exercises that will give you something in the direction of what you want, not even what you actually want, versus injury. How easy it is to get injured and how much injuries debilitate you and build up time after time. And the more like time goes on, the harder it is to heal from those injuries. When you do get back, you're not getting back to 100%, most likely. And if it is a mild enough injury to do that, you're probably just going to injure yourself in another way later on. You're either going to accumulate a whole bunch of small injuries that just make it not possible to do the kind of things you need to do to get the kind of body that you want, versus even going to the gym at all. If you'll find like, all right, well, I find that I do, even if I don't go to the gym, just doing some kind of exercise. I find that I do some exercise if I can do it in this like long time frame. I don't have to go 6 days a week and take the creatine and stuff. Like, you could just do it once in a while. You know, maybe you're not going to look like Jay Cutler or whoever the modern Jay Cutler is, but you're gonna be in a better place than if you don't. Unless you take it to a point where you think you have to look like Jay Cutler, so you try to lift as much as you can or do crazy exercises to the point that you can hurt yourself. And CrossFitters do shit like that. Not all of them. I know there are a bunch of ones that preach safety and all that stuff, but there are a ton of them that do those stupid fucking pull-ups where people get hurt all the time. And they do those dumb competitions for an audience of 12 people and stream it live and pretend like it's a real thing. And then people get hurt all the time. And like, oh, what do you know? Somebody that didn't get paid anything got hurt, and now they can't like even do real work because they got fucked up. It's like, is it really worth it to fuck yourself up for a $25 paycheck and something you trained 6 years for? No. You know, like, CrossFit in its mild form is fine, but in the form that people are pumping it out is just no. Yeah, I know, extreme, and you gotta be extreme and blah, blah, blah. No, fuck you. Like, be as extreme as you want. I'll be here way longer, being a bitch, but I'll be here. Okay. Like, I'd rather be a bitch than dead. Seriously. People overrate being a bitch. I'm not joking. Like, being a bitch is actually really cool. If you could just be a bitch in the right way, your life is so much better. But yeah. So here we are, fighting the rats. Let's say a mana banana. I got something called a mana banana. What exactly is that? So in this game, why can't I open inventory? Is that inventory? Oh, dang. Is there a command for it? Oh, I'm in battle. I can't do it in battle. There we go. Okay. So what exactly? I have a mana banana. Look at this. You see a banana of sorts. This item weighs 1 stone. So it is a banana. Somebody just didn't rename some bullshit into a mana banana. This is a banana of sorts. Is this a real thing and they're just... That's interesting. I'm going to go get an identify scroll and identify this mana banana after I fight this rat. Let's see. You always have a season to hold, and eventually you learn when it's smart to sell. Word, that's why I like combing, gaming, and investment. Steve Jobs. Oh, man, I missed your whole shit. I'm sorry, bro. I went on an absolute rant here for a second. So let's start from the beginning, talk about that. Oh, I'm missing a fight. Okay, I guess I just defaulted that around. Here we go, attacking. So let's see. Crestfallen got you banned when I wasn't around. Who would have thought that a health net would kick off early? Wasn't that Steve Jobs? Word, that's like I'm combing, gaming, and investment. Yes, absolutely. That one's my favorite. You always have a season to hold, and eventually you learn when it's smart to sell. Yeah. No, here's the thing. You're pulling expertise from other areas that I have zero expertise in. So, absolutely. You know what? Like, I guess that was the point of the entire conversation I've been trying to get into for the last however many minutes. Sometimes you have to sell. And when you got to sell, you got to sell. And here's the thing. Even if it continues to go and you feel like shit, which you will, because that's just what's bound to happen in these times, like, you still made money. A lot of these people that are holding and not letting go are going to fall all the way down with it and never have realized any gains. That happens too. So as shitty as you feel, no matter what happens to anything you sell, if you made a profit on it, just remember you made your money, you got out, you have to put it out of your head. Because if you sit there with the what ifs, like we all could have bought Bitcoin and been millionaires right now. Any idiot. It doesn't matter. 2000 whatever to whatever. You could have been an absolute millionaire if you just bought a little bit of it, sat on it forever, and dumped it. The reality of doing that is just very unlikely, because anybody that bought anything that went up 10x in value is going to lose their shit in some way. Like, whoa, even if you didn't care, you didn't think so. Like, all the people that talk shit about Bitcoin but just bought 20 bucks of it anyway and saw that 20 bucks went to like 20,000 relatively quickly. Not relatively quickly, I guess, but in short term perspectives, it didn't feel like that, I'm sure. But I got a leather pouch. But it was crazy. You saw some gains, you dumped out of it. There's no way you took the ride all the way up to where you could have been a millionaire. Some people did, a very small portion of people did. But a vast majority of people bought Bitcoin at a fraction of a penny and sold it for 3 cents and now tell everybody that they could have been a Bitcoin millionaire because they had 100,000 of those bitches. Just the way life goes. You ain't going to be Michael Burry and buying the puts. You ain't going to be George Soros with the puts. You ain't going to be Warren Buffett with the stocks. But you could just be you. You don't have to be somebody else. You don't have to be the good guy and risk all your shit to lose all your money. Risk a whole bunch of borrowed money, I think. Wasn't the problem with Go that he used the Robinhood infinite money hack that hadn't been fixed yet, but was very common knowledge at that point, to duplicate a shit ton of money with whatever puts he got. I don't remember what company. He basically just bought, he took his money, he put it in, he got margin on it, and then he bought the absolute lowest, what was it call that he could, either call or put that he could, and then he sold, and then for some reason Robinhood would let him sell against that, so then he sold options against those shares that he was able to get. So like that's what he did. He bought some shares, he sold calls against it. He used the money that he got from the calls to buy more shares. He sold calls against those, and he just did that until he got to like, he took like a couple thousand and turned it into, I don't know, 60, 70, 80 grand or whatever it was. So basically he was so far leveraged that it was just an absolute shit show. When he went from $1,000 to down negative 65K or whatever the actual number was at the time, he just let out that like good sound. Well, yeah, because you did a stupid thing and then you leveraged stupidity. Leverage, see, that's the beautiful thing about leverage, is it exposes what the original direction of the thing was that used the leverage. If you leveraged good investments and made a good trade, it was the absolute best thing you could have done. Because not only did you make the money on that trade, but if you protected yourself, you would have actually taken less risk than you would have if you didn't have leverage. Because the proper way to use leverage isn't just to like YOLO all your money on Tesla. It's to take a piece of that and use some of it to hedge, some of it to go to do your strategy, and keep a piece of it as collateral in case things really go down. Because eventually you may need to have money to cover a margin call if the market moves down enough to where you don't have the capital to cover what your bill is. And you should never leverage to a point that you can't cover that if things go wrong. And that's what people do, is they take $1,000 and they put 5x leverage on it, and then they go and they buy Apple calls or Apple puts. Forget about everything that they've ever learned up until that point, you know? So leverage is not for people that don't know what they're doing. Leverage is to be used to like safely to protect yourself and enhance your gains. Because sometimes it's like you just want to make the same play. Like here's what the smartest people actually do. They look at a play that they can make with their regular money, but they say, I would like to use the leverage so that it's a better risk to reward ratio with the amount of capital that I have available. Not necessarily that they're making a ton of money on every penny that they have, but that they have the ability to cover something dramatic and still continue to trade. So that's what leverage should be used for in a responsible way. I mean, to me, leverage is something you only do after you've been practicing for a very long time. Like if you have a fund that's leveraged and it's managed by people that know what they're doing, that's a different story. I'm not saying that like you can't ever own anything that's leveraged as well. Like, well, okay, then you can't trade options because options are leveraged by default. And then there are leveraged options that are on top of the initial leverage that you get from options in general. So like, yeah, you're not going to be able to do everything. And people that want to short sell, well, guess what? You're not going to be able to short sell if you don't have leverage. Because you don't have the money to cover an absolute blowout if you're not leveraged. If you're trying to short a stock with $1,000 and that thing could go to where you're down in the hole like 8,000, you need the ability to cover that. So they're not going to just let any old jackass short sell without some protection against a massive move. Because up is infinite, down is limited. And that sounds like, oh, that could be anything. Yeah, you're not going to nothing's going to go to the moon that you ever trade. Things will go to the moon that you see. It's always something. But you don't know who was trading that or what happened behind it. Especially if it's like a meme coin and it's coming out. Do you have any idea how many Doge meme coin versions I've seen now that the market is starting to come up? It's like, okay, all the dumb ones that went alongside some of the more legitimate ones are everywhere. And Salome knows what I'm talking about. Salome Fishby turned me on to Shiba Inu, right? Which is actually one of the more decent Doge spinoffs. It's popular enough to where there's interest in increasing the value. There's a nice burn rate on some of these. Well, I mean, like nice in terms of what you're going to find in a bullshit coin that's worth less than a penny. But like the enthusiasm behind the project and the fact that like people keep wanting to ramp up stuff like that tells me like, okay, this still may be full of shit, but it's at least less full of shit than some of the other stuff I'm seeing on there. So like, something like Shiba Inu, like I own a little bit of Shiba Inu. I own Doge and I own Shiba Inu. Do I have faith in either of those? No. They're terrible, but they're not terrible enough to where I won't own them. They have enough hype behind them. That's what I'm looking for. They have enough hype behind them and at least enough actual asset foundation to justify a gamble in them. If you have no asset foundation, if it's just like a vapor idea, you can't really, that's not something, yeah, it could go to 1 million, but it's too risky. I don't ever touch stuff like that. But something that has an actual following enough, at least enough to where people will, like, because people can generate fake followings. It only takes like a person or two to make it look like there's a group of 100, or not, maybe not 100, but like, I mean, 100 like bots. But if you want credible, actual looking businesses with your crypto or whatever, a couple of people can make it look decent enough for people to invest. But when you start to poke holes in that, you see that like, okay, there's only a few people in this really, and these are all the same people putting out all this stuff. You know, it's not really the best. When you have like at least enough variance to know that there's more than 10 people running the thing, that's all right. I'm cool with that. And by running, I don't necessarily mean like directly running the thing, but I mean associated with the people that are running it and assisting probably as much or more than them now that the project is going, whatever that ends up being. So my point is, like, I'm seeing all the bullshit come out of the woodworks again. And I got my Doge, and then I got my spinoffs of Doge, and that's as deep into the water of Doge as I'm willing to go. Because Doge is 100% what you think it is. Well, I should say it's like 89% what you think it is. Because there is actually a good amount of legitimacy to both of those coins now, considering there's incentive for them to be legitimate. Because all the fraud coins got absolutely, not all of them, but most of the fraud coins got absolutely crushed in that crypto winter. That crypto winter that we had, which really sucked, is extremely necessary because you need to clean out that stuff once in a while. Otherwise, you're not going to have a healthy ecosystem for that coin to thrive in. You're going to see those scams. You're going to see the people that should be helping other people make it grow scamming or getting scammed. People are going to leave the project that are actually serious. And you're going to have just so much negative press. It's not worth it. Yeah, maybe if you want to try to do a quick pump and dump, you might be able to do something. But as time goes on, that's going to get harder and harder. So it's not worth even trying. It's better to actually put that same amount of time and energy into making something legitimate. Because you don't have to have brand new, amazing technology to be successful. You just have to use that technology in a way that is good enough to at least be comparable to something similar. You don't even have to be original on the idea front. You can do shit that's been done 1 million times and still be successful as long as you're serious about it. And as you go, you learn from the things from the feedback that you get and the problems that you have and the successes. Because if you learn where your audience is, you can grow towards that audience. And as that audience sees you're coming towards it, more people will gravitate towards it because it'll be a nice place to be. Who doesn't want shit catered to them? Everybody does. But eventually you fall in love with something that becomes too big to cater to you. So you either stick with it and just take whatever they have, or you go to something else. And that's what people are doing with crypto. You don't have to be original. You just need to be an alternative to something that's very frustrating. Like TikTok taking your video down. Either TikTok did it or somebody got butthurt and did it. I don't know. But either way, I'm not that pissed about it. I'm a little pissed about it, but it was a dumb video. I mean, it was childish, to be honest with you, in some ways. Like, the end of the video was nice, but the first part was really, really childish. And it's probably the reason that the video's down. But it's a valid point. Fuck that guy. I'm going to say that. I respect what he did with that whole shtick. I do. I 100%, like, he owns it. He's not just like a jackass, the guy that runs that stuff. I'm not even going to say his name. What if he did it? What if he's all mad about it? Anyone that criticizes him. But, like, he built an empire out of some infomercials in the 90s, dude. Come on. Infomercials in the 90s? Building an empire? What is this world we live in, right? Where the guy that wrote the books about how some people's parents tell them other things and have more money. Who'd have thunk that guy would be an influential figure in the 2020s. This absolutely blows my mind. Or that there would be a platform that would be mad that guy uses stupid shit to make money, and I don't even, okay, maybe I make fun of him. Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I was like, hey, Salome, let me ask you this. Did you see the video? It's still up on YouTube, so you can get it there. I think I posted a link to it in the Discord. If you haven't seen it yet, and you have a chance, if the game's not frustrating you or whatever, watch that video and tell me what you think. Like, is it really worth getting banned over? And if so, what do you think they banned me for? I say banned, but I mean, just video was removed. My account's fine. I don't know. Do you get strikes on TikTok? If you get strikes on TikTok, jeez. Oh, fuck. The last one, hadn't watched it yet. Yeah, it's the one that said, this is the biggest market crash ever, or something to that effect. So I think I titled it differently on a couple of different places. I had to put it in a few places, and I was in a hurry, so, I don't know what I did. But yeah, check it out. If you haven't seen it yet, I want your opinion. I showed it to Discord, and the response I got was like, nah, you're good. So I thought, cool, all right. That's I mean, I didn't get like, oh, this is a great video, so I didn't expect it to be anything amazing. That's not the part I'm worried about, but it's like, really, what was it? Because I want to make stuff that stays in circulation. I'm not trying to be all edgy and cool and like, I gotta do this because it's my thing, and they don't. No, like, I want people to see my message. I'm willing to play ball. I just want to like actually be able to say my message. That's the thing. And if I can't, okay, oh well. Oh no, I'm stuck. Look at this. Okay, I gotta go down. So I get it. You own the platform. See, that's the thing. I'm like the most capitalist socialist you're ever gonna meet in your entire life. I am a socialist technically, but if any socialist talks to me, I gotta capitalism the shit out of them because they're so dumb. Dude, socialists just don't think anything through. They don't think about the actual, like, reality of what they're saying. It's like, oh, there's so much going on that everybody rich would just give me money and then I could sit on the couch masturbating all day. It's like, no, you just have to work for somebody that somebody else chooses every day. You know what I mean? Like, it would be shitty in that respect. Like, you would be doing shit you don't want to do, and you wouldn't be getting paid for it, but you would have your shit met. But guess what? There'd be other people that get their shit met a little better than you somehow still. And you don't know how to change that or how to fix that. And everything's supposed to be even, so you don't get the fucking choice of anything anymore because it's not fair. Why does that person get a red car? I have a blue car. I want a red car. I want a red car and a blue car. So what do? You make everything the same so nobody bitches anymore. So you get this like, that whole East Germany thing was a serious, like, eye-opener for what that can become. Like, there was worse shit than East Germany for sure, but like, look at what everything that came out of East Germany. They had the same color of light bulb. They had the same kind of car with the same colors. They had it was literally just, you had this fucking uniform thing. And you think everything in the suburbs is uniform? Ooh, a green ring, nice. You think everything in the suburbs is uniform? Check out a society where it's not fair if anything's different no matter what. Like, there are some real negative effects to what people want with social. Like, it's understandable. Like, you should be okay with wanting the basics and like a decent standard of living for everybody. Like, it really isn't fair that there are people with 10 yachts and then there are people on the street. Like, no matter what your moral justification is for anything, that's not fair. In an environment where we can fix that, that's not fair. So, like, no matter how hard you argue for capitalism, and yeah, it's not capitalism, it's crony cap or whatever. Like, no, this is the consequence of this way of doing things. If you switch to the socialist way of doing things, the Russia and East Germany and Cuba and all the shit that Robert Kiyosaki was talking about is the extreme version of that at their worst. Because if you think of those things didn't just start off as hellholes. Like, in Germany, the Nazis didn't build concentration camps the second, like, they started going in that direction. Like, it slowly crept in, and eventually it sped up. That's what happens with any system you do. Like, capitalism seriously benefited our species for the better for a very long time. And there were problems that entire time. That entire time, you could just say, oh, there's a better way to do it based on all these metrics. You absolutely could. But those better ways of doing it weren't necessarily new things. They were things people had done before but didn't work. And capitalist systems, in the model that we used to have, allowed us to get around it. It gave us just enough choice, just enough ability to like work together and produce things while still maintaining an individual freedom, at least for in some way, not for everybody at all times, but like at least in some way, in a general sense. If you were in the target area of that thing, it advanced human society. And now we're at a point where we know way better than we did at those points, but we're still stuck in this model that got us here because the momentum of hundreds of years is behind capitalism. It was so successful for so long that no matter how shitty it is today, it's a trust fund baby, and you're still the dude that has to take the bus. All right, like that's just what it is as far as how everything was dealt, and there's nothing we can really do about that as far as what's already happened. But in the future, we can make better decisions. And does that mean we have to go like fight revolutions and destroy, like burn buildings down and spray paint shit and live in fucking communities where we all get herpes? No, we don't have to do that. We could actually make responsible choices in the system that we have and just gear it towards a more responsible future. It doesn't have to be radically turned into any crazy thing. It just has to be tipped enough to where the general trajectory gets us to a point where we're not, like, people aren't living on the streets anymore. That's all we, like, that's really, there are people that want, like, everybody should have a yacht. No, fuck your yacht. Nobody should have a yacht. But that doesn't mean they shouldn't exist. Like, it doesn't mean it's not okay that some people have them. No, there are certain people that I would say, yeah, they can have a fucking yacht. They deserve a yacht. But very few people are on that list. So, like, why don't we just have some fucking yachts and spend the rest of our time and resources on something that actually matters? Maybe like putting people in houses. And once those people are in houses, let's get them access to be able to ride a yacht once in a while. They don't need to own a yacht. Nobody needs to own a yacht. I don't care about ever owning a yacht. I could have as much money in the world as I could dream of, and I still wouldn't give a shit about owning a yacht. Even if I did own a yacht, I wouldn't care. There are so many things in this universe that fascinate me, and things I want to do, and things that could be done with the right resources, that thinking about yachts is about as much good as thinking about what I would do if, like, I was in a completely different situation that I'll never be in. I don't know. I was trying to think of something funny, but I don't have anything in me right now because I'm getting tired. We've been playing this for a minute and doing our thing. Was it taken off of YouTube? No. The video was not taken off of YouTube. It was only taken off of TikTok. And I posted it on a few different platforms. I couldn't post it on X because X, for whatever reason, said it had to be a shorter video. I mean, it's like less than 3 minutes. It's like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, maybe. Something like that. But for whatever reason, and I've put like 10-minute videos on X in the past. Maybe when it was Twitter, I don't know. Like, Elon's shit's probably not doing so well right now. Who knows? Maybe the servers are at capacity, so they gotta like cut you down. And they know it's a short form site, so why don't they just make it short form videos? Because you know what's working? Short form videos. It's like, is long form still valid? Yeah, of course it is. It's going to continue to be valid because long form is always going to be the place you go when you want more content of the short things you want. But to find new content, you don't have an entire month to watch somebody's library. Dude, you got there are so many libraries that it would take a month to watch and beyond that, like, it's not even worth looking at more than a few seconds of anybody's shit these days. Because there's some good content you can find. And if you're a purist and you just want to, like, I want my videos the same way, like, well, then you're not going to find a whole lot of new shit. Like, the algorithm's going to tailor to you, and then you're going to see the same things over and over, and your ability to judge is going to be compromised. So, short form, I'm sorry, as much as you hate a lot of it, is going to be the thing. And it is the thing right now. It's already the thing. So, yeah, short-term video is, I should say short-term media, because it's going to go from just videos and audio to, like, interactive stuff. I mean, yeah, I know stuff's interactive now, and you could literally be in the Matrix right now, or some bullshitty version of it. But this is going to be much more accessible and much more real, especially when projects like Neuralink become more than, oh, they're human testing right now. I mean, there's going to be a point in time where it's laughable that they even had to test the stuff. Like, oh, we've been putting stuff in people forever. People aren't even people anymore. It's this whole, like, hybrid blob of cells, which is humanity, and technology, which is our actual, like, manipulation of the universe element. I don't know. That looks like we got another break coming up. Ad break in progress. It's already going down. Okay, well, if you're still with me, cool. I'm going to play for a little bit longer. I got to check and see if I've gotten a level yet. I really don't know. I've been ranting so much that I need to, that I lost track of it. So, let's see what goes on. Another mana banana. So this is a real thing. They put mana bananas in the game as maybe they were something from the past. Because there's some kind of something in my brain is going like, have I heard that somewhere before? But, okay, let me see what level. Face to front. See that bulge, baby. Look at, oh, nope, not cast. Oh, I have spells at the ready. As an adventurer, you get spells. Okay. I'm level 2. All right. Ooh, and I'm almost level 3. Very nice. So I guess I'm going to try to get to level 3, and then I'm going to call it good for the night, because this shit's going. You hear that music? That gets me pumped. That gets me pumped. That actually gets me pumped. It's fun. Got potions, too. Man, I got... the good thing is I have a bunch of loot. I get to go back in there and try to identify some of the stuff. I got a green ring. So that's the one thing that's nice that they've done. Welcome back, everybody. If you're at the commercial breaks, we are back at it. I'm getting better at paying attention to that stuff. Because the cool thing about this game is I can keep everything on the same... I can keep my stocks, chat, and the game on the same page. Whereas before I would have to... I'm sorry, the same screen. Whereas before I would have to use multiple screens. And, you know, one of them's like farther away than it should be. There's not much I can do about that. So it's, I mean, unless I fully change the setup, which, by the way, so I didn't get to this too much before. The plan is that next year I'm going to increase the kind of content and the amount of content that I'm doing, at least as much as I can. And I'm going to try to stream and bust out the camera. So I don't know if that's going to work right or not. We'll see. I have to set up the stewed, but I don't know. We'll go. I really hate myself for saying the stewed. That was really stupid. But you know what? I don't care. I can say whatever I want. It's my stream. Why should I be afraid to say anything? So it's probably, like you said, the guy complained, or it's something specific to TikTok algo. Yeah, I don't know, because the thing basically said, you know, read our guidelines and figure it out. So, I mean, my thought is, like, yeah, I made the comment about the marital aid, you know, that ran out of batteries, and then I also said that his book was a different title than it was, trying to be more honest to what the actual content was. And then, but the part that I was, if it isn't the shit about that, it's the part where I basically say that his tirade that he goes on is dumb, you know? He goes on this, the first part of the tweet is that it's the end of the world as far as finance, and I told you back in 2012 or even before. And the second part is like, just vote a specific way because I believe this, and I'm going to use a jumble of words against this other side, political side. And all I said was it sounds like it was written by ChatGPT and not even the modern version of ChatGPT. Like one of the ones that just spits out a bunch of words that kind of mean the thing that you're going for. You remember like a couple of years ago, there was an AI that wrote a Trump speech in the style of Donald Trump, and it was probably one of the funniest things I've ever read in my entire life. Even to this day, it's dated, and there's all kinds of other stuff. But like, just before that happened, when AI was like not as mainstream and you didn't see a lot of it, that's kind of like when things were starting to really blossom for AI. it had been a thing for a while, but like it hadn't really been in the, the social sphere very much. And it pumped out this speech for Donald Trump that was like literally like Donald Trump, but clearly something that didn't quite understand language fully and like the basics of human perception, which is both terrifying and hilarious at the same time. So that's the kind of AI I was referencing that wrote the last part of his tweet. And here's the thing. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with that whatsoever. I'm just saying the way he said that was very like, I'm just going to throw a bunch of words that mean this thing at you and then say vote for my shit. Like that's... you saw Salome Fishby. You saw the tweet. What do you think? Why don't you tell it how it is, because you can do that. You should be happy someone gives enough of a fuck about you to strike it. If I was you, I'd be hoping it was the dude. Yeah, I'm hoping it was a person and not the algo, because if the algo hits that, ugh. You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm gonna edit it a little bit. I didn't think about it until now because I've been trying not to think about it. But like, I think I'm gonna edit the video a little bit and try to make it a little bit more family friendly. I mean, it's not that unfamily friendly for the last part of it, but the first part sure is. So I'm gonna try to change that and see if maybe because then it's not gonna be as impactful of a video. Part of the impact of the video is that like I'm being more extreme in the other direction to show the ridiculousness than I need to be in order to like have the artistic effect that gets you to think about it, right? And I'm not even saying that like the dude's 100% wrong. I'm saying like some of the shit he says is right. Like he's not joking about the fact that things can go crazy in either direction, in the direction he doesn't like, and it's clearly gone more in that direction recently. But that doesn't mean like everything is bad in that domain. It's what it is somebody that has a whole bunch of wealth and power is just going to push a certain narrative because it's in their best interest. Not because they think it's better for people, but because it's literally in their best interest. So that's all, and that's just part of reality. Whether you agree with people or not, you think everybody that has fame and money and power is going to agree with you on everything? Think all your little values line up perfectly with all the people that you love? No, absolutely not. A lot of the people you love absolutely hate you, probably. So, well, at least some do, Some probably would align pretty well, and maybe there are some that would be even perfectly aligned. But, like, for the majority, for the vast 99.999% of people, there's going to be some difference there, and more likely than not, it's going to be a chasm rather than a little pothole. So just, get off your shit. The video needed more work too. Like it's like, get off your fucking high horse and like open your mind up a little bit. These people that push this I know everything narrative are literally playing off of they're using the news as negativity against you. Like the news is using the negativity against you, and then people like that guy and other people are doing the exact same thing twofold. Because they're taking the news thing to another level. And you're buying it, and you're giving money to people they're taking money from people, like decent people who are just really scared and confused because the algorithm hole has driven them into a point where they don't know up from down. It's really like, there's always a nugget of truth in everything. That's why political arguments don't go away, because there are certain nuggets of truth to every little political argument you think. No matter how bad and crazy you think the other side is, and there probably are, there are like little bits of truth in there that you can't successfully argue with. Otherwise, the issue would have been solved long ago. That's why those issues are all still around. Because guess what? Your shit you're not on as high of a horse as you think you are. None of us are. We're all full of shit. And that's reality. That's just how it goes. Want me to watch the video now and get back to you before you're done? I don't see any of the tweets. If I was hoping, yeah, go for it, dude. Check the video if you got a second. I was actually hoping you could check it out and tell me. So, I mean, like I said, I'm just trying to get the level, and then I'm dipping, and the video's like a little over 2.5 minutes. And I mean, to be honest, you could probably just skip like the last, I don't know, 30 seconds or minute of the video. I don't know. It'd probably be better to watch all of it, but at some point, it's literally just me like trying to be positive about things. The first part is just, it's like I'm talking shit about this guy, bro. he's talk shitable. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy you can talk shit about, Robert Kiyosaki. Fuck you, Robert Kiyosaki. I respect like the shit you built with your shit, but you're a bitch. You're literally a bitch. If this has anything to do with you, which it doesn't, I guarantee it doesn't. I just want to have. I just enjoy talking shit, and it's like, you know, why are there trolls? Why do people like content where you talk shit? Because it's fun to talk shit. Because society makes you hold your shit in so much that it causes physical ailments to kill you slowly. So it literally feels good, mentally and physically, to just say all the terrible things you're not supposed to say. I mean, and nobody fully does that, because if you do, you will absolutely get, like, murdered in today's society. You will get, I guess, you know, like, digitally murdered, but that's a real thing now. So much is everything's based online. Even the real stuff's based online. When you got people on social media that are homeless and worldwide stars at the same time, like, you know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Everybody's there. There are people from the absolute, like, most highest portions to the lowest portions are all doing the shit. But you know who's playing the realm? Losers. Like me. I'm a fucking loser. You know, like, I'm literally a loser too. It's not even funny. But like, people playing this game know what's up. We're all losers. We're all gonna die, and nobody's gonna care. That's the reality of being on the realm. That's terrible. I shouldn't say things like that. Probably for nobody that's listening anyway, because homie's watching the video, so I'm just going to hold the fort until he gets back and tells me what he thinks about it. Because I got, you know, that's the first time that's ever happened. I've never actually had my shit taken down. Well, I mean, like, I guess if something wasn't right, like I made a mistake on the post and it didn't post right or something, like I've had that go, or the system error, but I've never had it just be like, all right, I post, I watch it, I like it, just to make sure, and then check it at the end of the day. You don't want to check it all the time. If you just check it all the time, you're going to be disappointed. But if you wait till the end of the day and then you check it, the thing about TikTok is it boosts your first post. Or not, maybe your first post even more, but when you post something, it basically throws it to a set amount of people. From what I hear, it's around 200 people. And you can get less than that easily, because I had a bunch of videos that didn't get anything, but a lot of times you'll just get it to a couple of, 102 people, and then if it doesn't go anywhere, it's not going to go anywhere after that, because TikTok already tried. They assume that if we give it a sample size of 200 and nobody likes it, then we're not even going to keep pushing it, because we have other videos we could put in energy on. So that's how TikTok works. But so yeah, dude, the marital aid thing was the only thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that, because my whole point was supposed to be, like, the reason he made the tweet is because, like, he has everything in the world and he has nothing to be happy about anymore. So he's trying to find happiness and earthly pleasures that aren't doing it for him. And the thing that's supposed to give him some kind of comfort is not there for him. So in anger and rage at the universe, he's lashing out by sending this tweet. So that was a lot to cover by saying a dude's butt plug batteries ran out. But that's what I was going for with that. It wasn't just like a childish thing. I mean, it was mostly a childish thing, but it was also signifying something deep and real. I mean, there's so much into that video. So much meaning, and it's so dumb. All right, so no, fuck that. It's funny. Okay. That's good. As long as somebody, at least one person, did you laugh? Did you legitimately even chuckle a little bit at it? Because, like, I know a lot of it was corny. There was, like, a couple of corny jokes in there, but, like, I legitimately laughed at the first 30 seconds of it, I think. And then the rest of it was all filler. Like, I tried, but, sometimes you have a good idea and you can't really take it anywhere else. And with the amount of time and the amount of, like, willpower and brain resources you have. If you worked on it, like if I had worked on that video for a couple weeks, I probably could have made a way better video. But I was trying to release multiple. I did 2 in the last couple of days, and I've been trying to be consistent enough to hope that, like, just experiment with something that it gets picked up. I've only had a couple of videos kind of go above the standard mark a little bit, and they barely did anything. So, you know, just trying to get going with my shit, baby. So what you got? I laughed at the thing, joke without getting all the nuance. But you too. Oh shit! I died. Oh, I wasn't paying attention and I died. So did I lose anything? Okay, so it gives you the option to stay here or go home. I'm gonna stay here because I'm still. Oh, what level am I? Level 3 now, and I can lose things. So I'm hardcore looking at the chat to see if something picks up my stuff. Because if you lost anything, the NPCs will pick it up too. The magic rat shit and the magic banana didn't save me. You're right, Sloan. That was foul. The mana banana. I like mana banana the name, but the concept I really don't get it. I'm gonna have to look that up another time. So, first of all, it doesn't look like I lost anything. I still got all my money. And what level am I? Still level 2, so I haven't hit the magical level 3 yet. Oh, I've only got a few hundred experience points to level 3, so a couple more fights and I'll be there. That's foul. So what do I have as far as spells? Do I have any thaumaturgy? No, I don't. Okay. So I could, if I have a healing potion, I could just take that and get a battle real quick. But really, I could just go buy one, hopefully. I don't know. I haven't been to the shops yet, so I really don't know what the, well, that stuff is. Got some rings. I'm looking through my inventory right now to see what's going on. I've got quite a few rings. Got rag guano, galore. Got a jug of ale. That's not going to do anything. Mana banana. I have full mana. Maybe I should have been using spells against these things. That probably would have been good. That's an extra hit I could have gotten without having to run up to him. What do we got here? Wait, there's potions, let's say. Just a regular potion, nothing after that. I have a disturbing amount of rag guano. Whatever, people want to buy it, I'll sell it. Your boy Stock's got you covered. Okay, I've healed enough to where I'm confident. I was looking for potions long enough to where it took care of the problem. There you go. See, that's like stocks right there. All right, so the potion is like finding the thing that makes you a millionaire, and your regen is basically just like long-term dollar cost average investing. You're straight freaking out of the box, basic type of investing. That gets you so much farther. I never found the potion, but you spent all my energy looking for it when I could have been going to town and buying a potion. Why didn't I go to town? Because I want to level. I don't want to go to town and come back and level. I want to get done, and I'm lazy. And I'm entitled, so I'm just going to level. See, maybe I read too much into everything. It's probably my problem. It's probably why I'm so miserable. Is like I can't just do the thing. I gotta like overthink everything. Ooh, I got elixir. There you go. Oh, wait. Elixir is like poison. Dang. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. 43 experience points. You know, am I dying because I'm hungry? Let me try to eat some bread real quick. Oh, that's creepy. Listen to that. Oh, I don't have another food thing. Who did the sound effects for that? I really want to know if they recorded somebody's shit and like put it on there as the sound. You know, just it recorded it, but sampled it at a super low rate that even the most basic machines could understand. Or have the capacity to process, I should say. Right, going on 42 experience points isn't cutting it. But you know what? I died. I don't want to get messed up again. Oh, full health. Let's go. And I got... Well, maybe that's why I have full health, because it healed me. Here, okay, I keep saying it. So let's do a spell. I haven't cast a spell the whole time. We're going to cast spell. I've got Killstar. 10 mana. Ooh, get it. So what they changed was mana crystals into mana points. It used to be you could just buy as many mana crystals as you wanted, as you could afford, I guess, which was pretty easy because they were 5 gold a pop. And it was never really a struggle. You know, I mean, maybe... I can't remember in the past where it was, but when you play the game, it's not hard to get 5 gold. And you can get, I mean, you're getting a few thousand easily, so where's the challenge in that? And then you just buy as many mana crystals as you want. But the thing that sucks is sometimes you'd just run out. Although, what I noticed is you would find enough of them that you would end up as a net gain just from the stuff you'd find. Alright, let's kill start this thing. This one should give me some experience. This should push me over to the next level. Boom! There it is! Level 3! Alright, that's what I was going for. A 239 experience. And a mana banana to top it off as a level 3 present. Alright, well I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. I got to level 3. I'm going to roll back to town real quick and close this out. It's been an interesting week. Had a lot go on. I didn't get into the discussion about TKO. So the stock TKO, that's the new combination of the WWE and the UFC classy stuff, but with many more sports organizations also in play. I had a couple of good trades on WWE itself, and one good trade on TKO. Oh, I need to sell my stuff, so let's go this way. Yeah, one good trade on TKO. So, I decided I was going to try to trade it again. And once I had an initial position that I didn't move past. It was just the nibble I took on it, but it dropped quickly after that. I was going to the long side and the stock dropped. So, oops, I don't want to be the jackass that stands right in front of him. Yeah, I didn't want to go too much into it, so I just sat on that position for a while, and it found a little bottom for a bit, and I thought, maybe. And the day before the last like really big section downward section happened, I bought just a tiny bit more. So seriously, like barely in this position at all. And then it hits new lows repeatedly, and I thought, all right, now it's moved to a point where the options kind of evened out as far as the risk. So I'm okay averaging down a little bit, but it's with options when you're so far out, when your position has dropped that much, the likelihood that anything actually comes of that is so low, it's better to just not even mess with it. So I just kind of like got enough to be okay. I brought my average down, but the rest is just going to hang out. So luckily I did that at a low and we had a bounce. So I am very close to break even on that trade, and I'm still not that far into it. So if I want to just cut my losses and dump out of it, it wouldn't be that bad. But I've decided that right now I'm just going to ride this section and see how bad this pain is, because I mean, if it was 100% loss, I'm okay with that right now. I'm absolutely okay. I don't want to add more. As much as I'm going to be tempted to, as this thing just gets murdered, I'm not going to add more. I'm going to let that stuff ride to the grave. And if I have time on those, but not as much time as I'd like, and that's why they're dying, because they're starting to hit the part of the curve, the theta curve, that your options just lose so much value in such a short amount of time that they're not really worth going long for. And I'm okay just letting that stuff go. So that's where I am with that one. I played a little game with it and got myself back into a much better position, which is great. But it's still, like I said, it's still down a little bit. It's the kind of thing, like, I honestly, if you're new, it's best not to try to average down a position. It really isn't. The best thing you can do is, if you make a trade and it doesn't go your way, just get the fuck out of it, and like as quickly as you can, and just be okay, like being gun shy about it. Just get out of the way as soon as you can and live to trade another day, because you're gonna learn from so much, even when you think you already know. So it's like that. It's better to do that. But once you've been doing it for a while, if you understand the market that you're in, and I should say, if you understand the stock that you're trading and the market that you're trading it in, then you can responsibly think about averaging down. So that's what I did. I really like in this. played this one by the book, by my own book, I should say. I have a rule book now. If I'm gonna average down a position, I have to have enough belief in it to justify that average. Because what you're doing is you're adding fuel to the fire of your money, the candle. You're making the candle burn quicker. It might still give you what you want, but most likely you're just going to burn that candle off, and you're going to have to go get another one. And that one's going to suck because it's hard to find a candle that you really like. It's always a candle that sucks. It's always a candle that's like kind of okay, but you're like, I like this, and you convince yourself that you really like it, but it's like you're that person in the suburbs that's 5 seconds away from snapping. Like that's the kind of personality you have with candles. You're just like, you never find that perfect candle, but you have ones that are kind of close, so you roll with it. And then when you do find that perfect candle, it's $35 and you don't want to pay it. Right? Like you'll pay all kinds of money for a stupid game that doesn't matter and is 30 years old. Not really, this game's not expensive, but let's just say it was. Like I would pay way more for this game than I would ever pay for a candle. I would never have a candle again if it meant I got to play this game for 1 hour. You know, so like that, and people know that. That's why there's still something going around. There are people taking advantage of that and making money off this game. So I'm just closing it out here. I'm selling everything. I want to see how much I got because I got quite a bit of stuff. I'm gonna save the ring. Oh, the ring is cheap. In the previous server, you'd find rings that were worth ridiculous amounts of money. So what they said specifically in the Discord was that they're trying to change. They're trying to what's the right term for this? They're trying to affect the economy in a way that keeps things from inflation. They're trying to reduce inflation. So they're trying to be the Fed. They're going to learn real time what it's like to be the Fed. So all the people that talk shit about the Fed and how they control the world, which they kind of do in some ways, but like on top of that, it's also like, maybe you don't know everything about monetary systems and how they work, and maybe it's a lot harder to actually do what you think. Perhaps the Fed is actually trying. I really don't know. I operate with the belief that like they're probably somewhere within them thinking about at least making the world run correctly. And by correctly, I shouldn't say correctly, but like run, like continue. I think they're trying to make the world continue, but I definitely think they have their own agenda, and other people that try to get their people on the board have their own agenda, and it's like full of all that shit. Yes, I'm 100% thinking that, like, I believe that. But at the same time, I also believe that, like, it's probably harder than we think. Some guy who just is talking about, like, oh, I should do all this stuff, and I would do this, and like, you know, maybe you try it and it wouldn't work, and then what would you do? I don't know. So the people that run this game are trying to do some of the things that other people say, hey, we should just do that if we want things to be better. Well, maybe we should. And if this works, we'll find out. So they're trying to put a damper on the economy to keep prices low, to keep people. But what's going to happen, and this is the thing you can't stop, certain people who play the game more and are involved with things and know the game better and get there before other people do are going to get most of the resources. They're going to end up with most of the money, most of the resources, and there are going to be people that just don't have that. So how do you, like, should you do anything about that? Number one. And if you should, or if you think you should, what should you do about it? Okay, let's make some changes. Let's put price ceilings and price floors on things. Like, I always hear that. Price ceilings. Oh yeah, you think a price ceiling is really going to fix all your problems? The problem with price ceilings is they take into account one layer of the economy. It doesn't take into account all the stuff you need to make that thing happen. So if everything that you need to make it happen becomes more expensive, you can no longer make that product. So what happens then? You need to subsidize all those other products. And then those other products go, well, we need these other products. And then you have to subsidize all those products. And you eventually spend so much money for a super inefficient system that doesn't get you the result you were hoping for. At least that's the theory. Maybe that's just something people with money and power tell you to keep their money and power. And I think there is some truth to that. But I also think that, like, I just think, like, everybody's full of shit, I guess, is my point of view. Nobody really knows. Like, really, they don't. Okay, at least they're only paying $1 for rat guano. I guess I can, but that's on me. So I'm carrying around actual shit, tons of it, probably pounds of shit to sell for $1 a piece. So yeah, they're taking it. So what's wrong with them? But I'm the one holding it the whole time. So what's wrong with me? Although the other problem is I'm selling rat shit to the same person I'm buying food from. So I guess that's terrible for both of us. You should never be selling food when you're handling rat shit. And you should never be buying food from a place that handles rat shit. And you should definitely never be buying food from a place that you handed the rat shit to. Man, dude, there's so many levels of terrible stuff on this. So I think we should send marital aids to all the people in power as a warning. Okay. What's that? You know what? You don't think, like, okay, you send them there as a warning. Number one, they're probably just going to enjoy it because what else do they have to do in their life? And number two, that's going to cost a lot of money to get all those marital aids. And it's going to have to be your own search history that has that in there. Like, who's this person that just bought like hundreds of thousands of dildos? This person right here, just a random person in an apartment in Tennessee, bought a vast majority of the world's supply of dildos, and then just shipped those dildos free of charge to somebody with no meaning attached whatsoever. Oh, that's great. Like, you just they get a bunch of dildos, like, oh, that's interesting. This must be a wrong shipment. I am of the business mindset. I will take all of these and resell them at a markup. Thank you. So all these people trying to set a point about capitalism and the downfall, late stage capitalism and all that stuff and fairness and all, they just basically made the people more money while costing themselves money. That is reality. So I'm going to end the stream on that note because that is what happens when people try to do the right thing. You send dildos to famous people and then they make a profit off of them and you have to pay. So, yeah, there you go. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. I haven't even sold all my stuff, so I'm just going to sell what I have on there right now and call it good. Pretend we did it. Boom, there we go. We sold. All right, game's over. Thanks for hanging out. It's been a wild couple of weeks. I'll be back in another 2 weeks. Maybe one. It depends upon what's going on. Sometimes I do these streams where I just play the game and kind of chill, but I usually end up talking because I hate the silence, and in case people jump on, I don't want them to be bored and leave like I always do when nobody's talking. So it's like I think, all right, why don't I just play and relax while I stream? I don't have to stream. I can just wait until somebody, and if nobody does, I'm just playing. No, that doesn't work. You never think that way. Every time you're streaming, there's always something in the back of your head that's like, what if somebody's on there right now and I'm being boring? And that's it. Like I said before, you have that short attention span, so I never get that chance again. You know, okay, maybe. Who cares? Just play the game. That's what you want to do. Just play the game. So I'm attempting to do that more and get over my own bullshit. But hey, you know what? We don't know if that's going to work or not. So I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Stay safe and trade smart.